American film in the 1970s was a period of relatively unchecked creative freedom for directors. Seemingly all you needed to gain the trust of a producer or studio head was a bit of talent, gumption, possibly a serious drug problem masked as mystique, and of course, a healthy dose of being white and male. A depressing truth is that the number of American women directing films during that time could be counted on one hand. Barbara Loden, who wrote, directed, co-produced, and starred in the 1970 film Wanda, is a sadly singular yet welcome example. Born to, in her own words, a hillbilly background in rural Appalachia, Loden's early life fashioned her into a soft-spoken loner with identity issues and a tendency towards depression. Thankfully, she fashioned an escape from this difficult childhood and moved to New York City at age 16, where she began working as a model and pin-up girl and a dancer at the Copacabana. This being mid-century New York, she quickly forged connections to the movements and figures that were revolutionizing theatrical realism, such as Arthur Miller, the Actor Studio, and her collaborator and eventual husband, Elia Kazan. She won acclaim and a Tony Award for her acting, but felt too much of the appreciation she got was for her looks, and longed to be valued as a creative artist. Early on, Loden claimed that she hated film, remarking, "People on the screen were perfect, and they made me feel inferior." She wanted to fight against the glossy, slick look of Hollywood movies, and so, with a small budget of $100,000 and a skeleton crew of 4 people, set out to make a movie that she could love and relate to. This film became Wanda. Selected as the only American entry in the 1970 Venice Film Festival, Wanda took home the International Critics Prize for Best Film. Despite this early validation, this major feminist work was only screened in 2 theaters in America, and then quickly fell into obscurity until it was rediscovered years later by film scholars, having been rescued from a literal landfill. A challenging watch, Wanda is notable for the gritty realism of its verite style, and its groundbreaking anti-glam portrait of a very flawed female protagonist. Loden's identification with the heroine has inspired many people to see the film as autofiction, and her own life story had a similarly tragic bent. After the critical shrug that accompanied her one finished feature, and after another 10 years of attempts to get one of her screenplays produced, Loden tragically died of breast cancer at age 48. But Wanda has lived on and endured, going so far as to be named the 48th best film of all time on the most recent Sight and Sound Critics Poll.
Welcome to Kale Your Idols, a new Hollywood podcast with your hosts, Sam Ludwig and Elena Gibson. Okay.
Woo! It's ladies' night.
Ladies' night. I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Yes, get it. Get it, girl.
This is our second attempt to record this podcast episode.
There was a fucking baby crying, and helicopters going continuously. We got frustrated, and we stopped. So this is the first time that we have reset and tried to we got like a half hour in.
I don't know. I feel like a good 10 minutes of that half hour was us being like, do you hear the baby crying?
Yeah, it sort of devolved a little bit into us just like sniping about the baby. But, it's a cute baby. She's a very cute little baby. The helicopter, though, is not cute. That is not cute.
Not cute at all. But yeah, hopefully re-recording was the right move.
Yeah, no, I think that this is going to be sort of like, I was envisioning, like Elaine Stritch trying really hard. No, this connects to this movie because like D.A. Pennebaker.
Just because she's the older lady.
No, that was made by D.A. Pennebaker, company cast album. Elaine Stritch in the company cast album trying to get Ladies Who Lunch going, and it's just like not working. And then they're like, Elaine, we're obviously tired. Let's just have you come back on Monday. And then she comes back and kills it. And that's what we're going to do.
Sam showed me this Elaine Stritch video. It's fucking hilarious. Like, if you don't like musical theater, I think you could still enjoy watching this video because she's just getting progressively like drunk and just totally losing it. Yeah, it's just a disaster, but it's hilarious.
At one point, she's like, maybe if I take my hat off, it'll be okay. But no, this actually does directly connect to this movie because it's made by D.A. Panabaker, who's like one of the key direct cinema people. And that is a classic of documentary filmmaking of that period.
Okay, direct cinema. Can you please try to explain to me the difference between direct cinema and cinema verite? And if there's people out there who haven't heard of either of those, can you just give a brief, overview of what both of those things are?
No, I can't.
Please.
No, I mean, I'll try. But basically the difference, so direct cinema and cinema verite, because I'll be honest, I've read several attempts at differentiating them, and many of these attempts are contradictory. They'll say there really is no difference. But basically, it's a style of documentary filmmaking that came about in the 50s, really the early 60s, and was developed. Cinema verite is a French term for film truth. It was first developed by French ethnologist and filmmaker Jean Rouch. Is it Rouch? Roche?
Oh, I don't know. I'm bad at French.
Yeah, no, as we've established in several episodes already, we're both bad at French. But basically, he wanted to have natural dialogue and authenticity of action, but in cinema verite, as opposed to direct cinema, the documentarian is allowed to get a little bit more involved, and it's like the documentarian can ask questions and can sort of stage action, whereas direct cinema...
Sorry, that's cinema verite.
That's cinema verite, okay. Right. And direct cinema, which was largely popularized by Robert Drew and his acolytes, who include D.A. Panabaker and Maisel Brothers. That's more just let's follow a guy around and see what he does, or let's attempt to not be present as filmmakers, and we're just trying to capture truth. They made this movie Primary, which was about the Wisconsin primary in 1960 with John F. Kennedy and Hubert Humphrey, and it's just watching. There's a famous scene where they just follow Kennedy through a crowd, and all of this was possible because of new camera and sound techniques that
being handheld.
Yeah, being handheld camera and able to sync the sound at the same time, and it's just this famous shot of following Kennedy through a crowd. This is what things look like now, so it doesn't seem that revolutionary. But, it really was. They were reacting to sort of World War II propaganda documentaries, which, what a documentary was just here is a man who is going to show you how he works in this factory. And, then he sort of gives an interview and stuff. And this is more I don't know. It's got, a hippie-ish vibe. It's got a more, down and dirty vibe, right? So, basically, they're the same thing. But cinema verite is allowing for things like interviews, and direct cinema is more just let's nix the interviews, let's not have the documentarian in it, let's just show the shaky cam shot of a guy sitting there.
I think I remember reading that cinema verite is based off of Dziga Vertov's whole idea about how camera work can show you more truth than just a straight up raw recording of an event, because montaging two things together can make you realize a truth that you didn't see before. So you're trying to get at realism, but cinema verite allows for more camera work being involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a style that developed that's shaky cam, right? That means real.
Yeah.
That means that gives it a more
It looks gritty.
It looks gritty, exactly right. There's actually a great sequence in the Primary documentary, the Kennedy one, that's they're filming him getting posed for a photograph. So it's pretty cool. You're seeing
that's
behind the scenes. Yeah.
That's that. Who are those twins who are in Full House? Mary Kate and Ashley.
Twins?
Oh, the Olsen twins. Yeah. Have you seen that
Who are
video?
Those twins?
That video online of them thinking they're getting a photo taken, but instead it's a recording of them, and they're just awkwardly standing there.
No,
it's so funny.
That sounds amazing.
It's so awkward because they're so awkward, but it's hilarious. Anyways, that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, sorry. Do you want to talk a little? Just keep talking about verite before we get directly into Wanda, or
yeah. Let's talk about verite a bit more. Just go ahead. What were we gonna say?
No, well, I mean, I have a number of things I was gonna say. I just wanted to share this weird memory where I remember the first time I heard the term cinema verite.
When was it?
It was like from my dad when I got I wish I remember the name of this product, but it's out there and I could look it up, but I won't. It was like a 90s gift. It's a camcorder. It was a black and white children's camcorder thing. You would like plug it into the VCR and you could like record a video, and like it was in black and white, and it was like you make videos, but it was like a toy, but it was a real thing. But it was like you could actually record videos.
Kind of like Easy Bake Oven. Like,
yeah.
You make food,
exactly,
but it's toy food.
Right.
No, but you eat it.
And there's this incredibly embarrassing, but historic, really, video of me and my sister acting like me acting like a dweeb, my sister acting just like a small child on Y2K.
I want to see it.
We should break it out. It's like really annoying. But anyways, I remember like, when I got this gift, it was probably a Christmas gift, which is why then we used it on Y2K, because that was a week later.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were going to leave for the day to do something. And I was like, I want to set this up and film like outside. Like I want to set it up outside the window and film the neighborhood. And my dad was like, that's cinema verite. And I'm like, what's that? And he explained this basic concept of that. I mean, I think that is what it is. Like, that is cinema verite.
Yeah.
Just like me setting it up in my window and seing what happens. But except maybe there would be more of a subject that you're trying to catch.
I feel like you have used that phrase a lot around me.
Really?
And I know that it means cinema truth. Like, I can speak enough French to know that. So every time you say it, I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure I understand what you mean. And I do think I understood what you meant. Like, I didn't really know that much I didn't know anything about it, like the technical definition. But it was basically what I thought it was.
Yeah. I mean, this brings up a larger subject. I don't know if this is too big of a subject, but I think it is, because this is something that I was thinking about when I was watching all of these classics of Robert Drew and Pennebaker and the Maisel brothers and stuff. Think like Grey Gardens, if you've seen that. Also, the big concert documentaries, Woodstock and Monterey Pop. Do you think that watching real people on film used to be so interesting, and it's just so not now?
I love reality television.
Well, that's different. I guess what I mean is like, it's like a Humans of New York thing, right? Or like if you like just film somebody on the street and like you want to, I just feel like people are so much less interesting. And I guess this is obvious because they're like used to being on camera, but like,
I don't know. I kind of think maybe it's because nowadays you have to worry that whatever video you're in is going to go viral or something like that. And maybe back in the day when people were getting recorded, maybe they felt like nobody's going to see this, or whoever's going to see it, like I won't know them and nobody I know will know them. So maybe you just felt more like you could just be an idiot or like be silly on camera. But whereas now, I don't think people, they don't want to have themselves recorded as saying something wrong or looking silly.
I don't even think it's like people acting that crazy back then. I think they didn't act as crazy as people do act now. I think it's like watching somebody's behavior back then. Maybe now I'm adding on it's old, so it's like I'm reaching through to a different time period or something. But like, I genuinely think like watching people answer questions about what they think about something, even if it's like really banal, it's just like there's this quality to verite truth on film in somebody in the 1960s that is just impossible to capture with somebody, unless I guess it's somebody like a person who lives on the street or something like that. But then that's not quite a regular person either. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like, you can have just like a regular person in a suit and it's like, hi sir, may I ask you a question? He's like, why, yes. And it's like, even if he's being all formal, it has a... Am I just making this up?
I don't know. Like, you don't think that that's what people 30 years from now are going to think about recordings of people from our time period? Like if you look at recordings of teenagers from the 90s or the 2000s, you're like kind of laughing at like their slang they're using and the intonation and stuff. So I do think that that's always there. It's just how close are you to the current time period being filmed? No,
but now everybody films themselves doing things all the time. Or like they're aware of like how to film, or they're constantly forced to look at other people who have filmed themselves.
Yeah, but I think like in the future, the thing currently that people will be like, oh, that was so funny back then that they did that, is like the self-consciousness of being aware that you're on camera.
Wow, so people will be more real in the future, and they'll be like, look at what these fake assholes were like in 2023.
I really hope so.
That actually does sound good, and then that would come back around to being an interesting artifact.
Yeah.
So, all right, go us.
We'll see.
We're wonderfully self-indulgent and terrible.
Okay, so the reason Cinema Verite connects to Wanda,
yes,
is so Wanda was made with a skeleton crew of just 4 people.
Yeah.
There was, of course, Barbara Loden, co-produced it, wrote it, directed, starred in it. She was the person who made it happen.
The Tommy Wiseau of her time.
And then the other main person, she brought on board a cinematographer and editor, Nicholas Proferis.
Yeah.
And he had worked with Robert Drew, who was one of the main guys of the Cinema Verite style.
Direct cinema is more
his sorry, whatever.
Thing, I guess. But again, it's like these.
They're probably interchangeable to a degree.
Exactly, like they kind of are. Yeah, Loden said she was looking through different people's submissions, or just different. She was just like watching different people's material that they've filmed. Proferis had made a movie about Martin Luther King that he was filming during when he was ultimately assassinated. I don't know if that was what she saw, but she just felt like there was something about his work where he made regular looking people, I don't think she said beautiful, but just like he made them, he didn't make them look ugly. Whereas like other people would film like quote unquote regular looking people and make them look more ugly. And she felt that he really captured what they're really like. Right.
I have to say, I feel like things do look pretty ugly in Wanda.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what drew her towards Nick Proferis. How do you say his last name?
I think it's Proferis.
Proferis. But I don't know if he was trying to not make it seem ugly in Wanda, but it was drab.
Yeah, do you want to talk about just this right now? Just the general vibe and the grittiness and what you thought about it, like, and how you feel about?
Yeah. So Nicholas Proferis was involved in this direct cinema verite type style. I'm just gonna use those terms interchangeably.
Sure.
And you can see that influence for sure in Wanda.
It's mostly non-actors.
They use very little artificial lighting, doing a lot of handheld camera work.
Some incredible handheld camera work.
Yeah, what was that one scene?
Where they're robbing the car. But he's shooting from within the car.
But you don't even realize it until
like he catches them across the street coming, and yeah, right, you don't realize what's happening.
And
then
you're like, how did he get inside the car?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's been there the whole time.
He's in the car, yeah. You thought he was maybe shooting from the other side of the car through the windows, but no, it's some really good handheld shots.
Yeah.
And just like really good like run and gun style filmmaking. Where, you know, they didn't plan, they're not planning out a lot of blocking and stuff. It's just kind of like, go do this thing, and Proferis is capturing it, and he does it beautifully.
Yeah, so they're all non-professional actors except for Barbara Loden, who plays Wanda, and then the other professional actor was Michael Higgins, who plays Mr. Dennis. Michael Higgins had said that he had never before and never had since experienced such freedom as he'd experienced while making Wanda. And he credits that to Proferis' camera work, because Proferis had said during the car stealing scene, for example, you do what you have to do and I'll follow you. So Proferis just allowed for that freedom. And and part of that was just like they shot on, what was it, 16 millimeter?
16 millimeter, yes.
And if they'd used a 35 millimeter camera, they wouldn't have been able to do that. They shot on 16 millimeter just for budget reasons.
Yeah.
But it worked in their favor because then he could really just like pick it up and move it around, and they had a lot more freedom with that.
Incidentally, though, they did not blow it up in 16 millimeter. They blew it up to 35 millimeters, so it looked extra grainy. And Loden was just like, I like it. Like she was like, I never even want to make a 16 millimeter print of this. So
I mean, it does have that gritty thing that if you're on Instagram and you pop a grainy filter over your pictures, you know, like people want that look a lot of the time. It
absolutely adds to, I mean, this is a movie that is down and dirty. It's about hard living folk.
Yes.
The first shot of this movie is a nasty house, and it's like there's a Budweiser, a cross, and an American flag. Like, that is the opening shot. And that, boy, does that say it all.
Yeah.
But so what I want to get at is sort of use this grittiness question to get, is like, I bet, even though I'm not a woman, I bet I like this movie more than you did. What do you think?
Wait, this is an unfair.
I bet I did.
Stop.
I bet this is more my shit than your shit.
Stop. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
what?
Here's what I have to say about the movie.
Okay.
Let me get to what somebody else said about it.
And this was a classic problem. A lot of women at the time didn't like this movie very much.
All right, there's this one review that I saw. It was from a blog called the Horsehead blog that said, I think I respect this movie more than I enjoy it. And I fully agree with that.
I bet that's you. That ain't me, though.
And then Pauline Kael...
Well, are we going to get into this now?
Well, I'll save some of the Kael review stuff for later, but something she said about it is, Miss Loden is a beginner, and the film is rough on an audience, but it's rough for some good reasons. There's nothing coy or facile in her approach, and she's doing things the hard way rather than falling back on cliches. It's an exploratory first film, and one respects the director's strength. And I agree with that. Like, she's trying out a lot of stuff. I can see the flaws in the film, but I really respect what she was trying to do. And she captures something about the human experience that's just really remarkable. It's not a fun watch. It's not an enjoyable watch. It's a depressing, sad watch. But there was such a rawness to it and a very understated rawness. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I really love how, I mean, we can get into this later, but I was fascinated by the way that Barbara Loden shows emotion or doesn't show emotion.
Yeah.
Both through her character in Wanda, but then also in interviews that we saw with Barbara Loden herself.
Yes.
So I really want to dive into that at some point. I don't know if this is the right time or not.
It's a masterclass in acting.
Yes, yeah.
She's incredible in this movie.
And so it's not dramatic, it's not indulgent or any of that. It's a very soft, real depiction of a very complex, or I don't even know if I'd say complex, but like...
No.
She's not that complex.
She ain't complex at all.
But a very real person.
I guess what I'm trying to say, though, yes.
You're just trying to back me in a corner to say whether or not I like it or not.
Well, no, I'm just trying to say, like,
I think you like the style.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this movie's my kind of shit. It ain't quite your kind of shit. Like, this is the kind of movie that I really vibe with in a lot of ways, and I do enjoy it. Like, there's shots, like, the shots that they get of all of the cars and the storefronts and the gross decor of these places and just the shittiness of the houses, that is like catnip to me. And you don't normally like that kind of thing. No,
I don't. I hate movies that are all about small, sad lives.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the example I always give is Napoleon Dynamite. I hate that movie.
I also hate that movie too, but
that is like, this is, I feel like, a similar aesthetic in the sense that it's like drab, dreary existence.
God, what if the Napoleon Dynamite person cited like Wanda as an influence? I mean, you almost wouldn't be surprised, except like, you know, there is more of a stylism, obviously, like even in the way that those characters dress and are styled and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm a better feminist than you. And do you want to talk about the movie? Like, explain the movie?
I just want to say,
sorry, yeah.
In terms of liking it, because I feel like maybe I didn't fully answer that question.
I think you did. You said you basically respect it more than you enjoyed it.
Yes, yeah.
I enjoy it and respect it.
This is
and I give it space, and I want to let it speak.
This is the kind of movie where, like, I'm so happy I watched it, and I think other people should watch it if they care about film or if they care about feminism or just showing humanity through film.
How did we watch it?
Oh, yeah. So that was super fun, y'all. We did a movie marathon.
Woo! Female Directors Edition.
Yeah, we watched, how many was it? 7 movies?
Yes. Well, there was an optional 8th that one person watched because they didn't have access to
Criterion. Yeah, we watched, the first movie that we watched was Wolf's Hole by Vera Chilova. I'm probably saying her last name wrong, but she's the same director who made Daisies, the 60s experimental film. She's a Czech director.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was on Criterion Channel. So for all the people who didn't have it, they watched Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore.
Yes.
Sarah Jacobson.
Yes.
Punk Underground movie.
I still want to watch it because we didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. I know
another gritty, weird, low budge movie that sounds like my aesthetic.
I can already tell you're gonna like it more than me.
Probably. And then we watched Wanda. Was number 2.
Wanda was number 2
on our list. Then we did Valley Girl.
Valley Girl. That was fun.
Yeah. Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon.
Yeah. Which I thought was just okay.
One of our bigger disappointments.
Because I love A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. And it's by the same director, Lily.
Anna Lily Amanpour.
Anna Lily Amanpour, yeah.
And then we did Daughters of the Dust.
Julie Dash. It was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was probably the best one, objectively, in my opinion, that we watched. Do you want to do our rankings of this movie just to prove how much more I like Wanda than you?
All right, okay. But let's finish.
Then we did the Preacher's Wife by Penny Marshall. Okay. And then Titan. Bleh. Didn't love that one, personally.
No, that one was like... okay, let's just say who directed that one. It's by the same director who did Raw. Julia Ducournau. I don't know how to say it.
You just said that name sarcastically. Like, oh, she thinks she's really something, doesn't she?
No. I just knew I was going to butcher it. So I said it in a funny way just to, Okay, yeah, so your rankings.
Yeah.
Go first, like best to worst.
Yeah, I think best is Daughters of the Dust. That's another one that's really my shit in a lot of ways. I think I would put, probably either Valley Girl or Wanda next. Maybe Wolf's Hole. I'm doing bad at this ranking. I'm not doing a good job at this ranking. I guess I would do Daughters of the Dust is the best. Then Wolf's Hole, then Wanda, then Valley Girl, then The Preacher's Wife, then Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon, then Titan.
Mine's actually pretty similar to yours.
Okay.
So, in terms of best, well, this is like hard. What are you saying is the best? I think the most polished one was Valley Girl. Like the most well done at achieving what it was trying to achieve.
Daughters of the Dust is shaggier in some ways.
Daughters of the Dust is a first film by Julie Dash, and there's definitely, there were some things that could be improved, but there were some really amazing things. Like, she tried way more interesting things.
Yeah, it's a much more complicated work.
Yeah, it's a much bigger achievement.
But it's not quite wasn't great in it.
Yeah, that one actress. I didn't like that monologue. Anyways. Yeah. But in terms of like my favorites of the movie marathon, my favorite was Wolf's Hole, because that was just a fucking blast. That was hilarious. And then I think my next favorite is a tie between Daughters of the Dust and Valley Girl.
Yeah.
And then for me it's Wanda, and basically then the rankings are all the same.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's
similar.
I'm
just as feminist as you.
Okay. Well, let's do another metric though. What do you think about its Sight and Sound ranking?
Okay, so Wanda's ranked 48th for Sight and Sound.
Yeah, okay. 48th of all time.
And it's above 400 Blows.
400 Blows.
Which is influenced by.
Yeah.
I would say that it does not quite deserve to be 48th, but I think that one of the problems is when they send these polls out, now, when you're filling it out, I think everybody's doing a much better job of being like, I'm going to make sure that I include female directors. And so because there are so few movies directed by women to choose from, by default, that means that those female-directed movies are going to show up on a lot more of people's top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And therefore will get artificially ranked higher on the list. Well, I know that I'm not the only one who's pointed this out, but yeah, I think that's why some of these female-directed movies...
Yeah, but you are a woman, so your opinion about this we can put on the podcast.
I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You guys can get mad at me or whatever, but I think that 100% these female directors deserve to be uplifted. That's why we had a female-directed movie marathon. They're great movies, maybe not 48th of all time.
Yeah, well, but okay, let's think about it in context of these other movies that obviously got sort of an inflation, perhaps, to their stock because they were directed by women on the Sight and Sound poll, right? So obviously, famously, S.T.I.G.M.A, which is a movie that is pretty in conversation with Wanda in a lot of ways, I would say.
Yeah. It's a movie that we've talked a lot about personally between the two of us, but yet have not seen
still
yet.
haven't seen it. It's pretty crazy. We started it.
We did start it.
We got a half hour in, but was there some problem with our...
We were sleepy.
Oh, okay. I thought that there was a subtitles problem when we downloaded it.
It's just the kind of movie
got sleepy.
I don't think you can watch that movie when you're tired. I think you got to watch it on a Sunday morning or something.
Okay, but so, like, the thing that I'm getting at is, like, Beau Travail, right? Is, like, top 10 movie of all time.
I do not like that movie.
That movie is a piece of shit.
I don't like that movie at
I'm
all.
sorry, but, like, if you're thinking about, like, okay, I'm a critic or I'm a director or whatever, like, what do I want to represent me and stuff like that, I understand, like, you know, S.T.I.G.M.A as that's one, and I kind of think Wanda is like that too.
Yeah,
like I think Wanda is one that could be like, this movie represents me and my sensibilities. I almost would put it on mine in that way because it is very much its thing that it's trying to do, which is like this gritty, you know, down home, non-professional actor thing. Like, it absolutely represents perfectly a portion of what one kind of movie that I would want to have in my top 10.
Yeah,
so I
think it's unique.
Yeah,
it's definitely not doing the thing that all the other movies out there are doing.
No, and it's
pointedly.
Like, yes, and like you could see it being I could see its influence.
Yeah,
or if it had been seen by people.
Yes.
But like I can see how people see themselves and see what they care about in movies in it.
I don't think it's outrageous that it is ranked so high. Like Beau Travail,
it's not even that high.
Beau Travail is too high, but it's ranked higher than it should. But but Wanda, although I personally wouldn't rank it in that position, I would consider putting it in my top 10, if that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying too. It's got to be one of the best like lost movies ever. Yeah. Right?
One of the best. Yeah, probably.
One of the coolest discoveries that you could make.
Aside from all of those silent films that burnt up. But like aside from ones that accidentally got destroyed by natural disaster or man-made disaster.
It's crazy that this movie was so lost. Like, Barbara Loden wasn't some nobody who died in a garret. She was pretty well known. Like, she was fairly connected. We just watched a thing where she was on a talk show with John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
That was fun.
Talking about this movie.
That was so fun. I'd never, like,
She looked hot as shit, by the way,
she did.
in the thing. She was an attractive lady.
Yeah. She had cool clothes, good style.
Yeah, such good clothes.
Yeah. Her and Yoko Ono were friends.
Apparently,
and I could see that. I could see them both hanging out.
Totally. It's weird the way this movie was not distributed.
Well, you know, if you just think about all of these movies that independent filmmakers submit to film festivals, there's got to be so many treasures that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah. But like this one, it won the Venice International Film Prize. Yeah, it stirred up controversy with the female critics who all didn't like it.
And also, it was, in addition to it being the only American film selected for the Venice Film Festival and then winning that Best Critics Prize, it also was the only American film selected for Cannes Festival as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So it did receive quite a good amount of critical acclaim at the time. I mean, well, okay, it received a high honor, and it is insane that it only played in 2 movie theaters in the US. That's so crazy. Apparently, it was more well-known in Europe.
As female directors tend to be.
That's so interesting.
In general. There's always been more female directors in Europe. Can't forget my girl, Leni Riefenstahl.
Oh my god. Lenny.
Hey, well, I'm supposed to know that fucking Nazi's name. No, but
that Olympics movie is pretty good.
Plenty. but there's of course Lena Wertmuller and Chantal Ackerman and stuff.
The Vera Chidilova.
Yeah, right.
Daisies.
Vera Chidilova. But like Barbara Loden herself, like, do you feel like she's partially to blame somehow? Like, do you think there's like she could have pushed? Because like I heard this interview with her where like she really did not seem at all like she wanted this movie. She was not thinking about like a wide release for this movie or like a road show or something like that. Like she was like, I never thought it would appeal to anybody outside of like weird film festivals and like college students, like in like a Like, I think she thought of this as a very esoteric work, which it kind of is.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know that she expected there to be like some kind of wide release of it.
Yeah, well, this reminds me of the conversation you and I always have about how I handle our social media page. And you always bring up that I should make our social media page more, I don't know, spammy. It's not how you say it, but like, like you wouldn't put it that way, but that's how I view it. More lower effort, higher volume, and just more like easily digestible, I guess. Whereas if I'm going to be handling our social media, I need to at least appreciate the aesthetic on some level. So I am, I guess, kind of shooting us in the foot a little bit by choosing to do it that way. But also, if you're trying to like put something artistic out there, not saying that this podcast is art or whatever, but if you're trying to put something creative out there, don't you want it to represent you? If you're making it with your soul,
I do.
Don't
agree.
You need your soul to be happy with it?
I do agree. I don't know if I think you need your soul to be happy with the social media advertisement that you do for a podcast. But I understand. I agree with you. There's no reason to work so hard at something for any reason other than love. You know, you don't want to fall off the bottom rung of the ladder. You want to do it your way.
You absolutely need your soul to be happy with the social media stuff, because you have to do it so much that if your soul's not happy, you'll die.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. And you'll die like Barbara Loden.
Oh my God. She did believe that negative thoughts would drive your illness further. Like, she even straight up said that she felt like the issues surrounding her and her marriage with Elia Kazan pushed her cancer further.
Yeah. She would have been a pretty insufferable person on social media, I think.
I don't know. Her interviews
are great.
Are really,
but like, she would have been posting all of those happy thoughts. Yeah, right. Like, don't forget the things you put out in the world are gonna. You know, anyway, I feel like it would have been a lot of that. A lot of memes like that.
She struggled with cancer for a number of years.
Struggled with cancer but did not pursue chemo until the last year of her life, after going to many like faith-based healers and stuff. So. So she tried to control her negative thoughts. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to be laughing about somebody's death of cancer.
No, it was very sad.
Seemed like a little bit that she could have done.
I wouldn't have wanted to. I might have like muted her social media page if she'd been posting about all of her new agey treatments she was trying out during the time. But no, super sad that she died. I'm sorry.
No, it is.
No, it is really sad.
It's really, really sad. She was a life that was cut short. She had more to do. She was trying to do more. Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. You talking about like, part of it was like, it seemed like she didn't even really want people to watch it. After she made Wanda, after she won that Venice Film Festival award, apparently she really then started viewing herself as a director, and she wanted to make more movies, and she tried. She wrote additional screenplays with her collaborator on Wanda, Nick Proferis. So they had a number of screenplays, but she couldn't get them made. Proferis has a quote, "Nobody was really interested in Barbara directing these little movies. They still didn't treat her or me with any kind of respect. The only reason we'd get to see people, maybe, was because of Kazan."
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. You know, she was living in the shadow of Kazan. It doesn't really seem like he helped her get the money for the film. It seemed like that was due to her own notoriety.
She got the film because of her friend.
Yeah, she
got the money for the film because of her friend.
Yeah, she got but a friend who, like, presumably she knew because she was a famous actor.
She met him on a shoot, I think, in Africa.
Right.
I don't know what she was shooting in Africa.
Yeah, and he gave her about $100,000. And she said in the movies that she would make in the future, she wanted less money.
Really?
Yeah, no, because she was like, you just feel so beholden, even if it's not that much money, like, and they're not that meddlesome, you just feel so beholden to the money people. And she was like, no, I wanted to make stuff even smaller. Like, she has a really interesting take on her own self as a director, and her own, like, again, some of it sounds like self-deprecation, but some of it sounds like just very interesting thinking on the subject. Like, she says, like, I don't think a lot of women want to be directors, and I didn't think of myself as a director, but that's because she thinks like a director is like a character that directors play. And it's like this idea of a director that people have. She was like, I don't think that appeals to women. And she's like, I just still don't think of myself as being like that. And like, I wasn't doing any of the things that directors would do. She was like, Kazan was always telling me like, you got to tell your like sound people and your camera people like what you want to do tomorrow. And she's like, that's none of their business. Just like, it's like, that's an interesting take. Like she was like, I just didn't want to talk to them about it. I mean, she made it work. Like she made this movie, and this movie is suffused with this kind of like, let's fuck around and see what happens kind of attitude. But at the same time, it comes out feeling extremely deliberate, and it feels like she did know what she wanted, but she didn't want to make it in the sort of classic way of like, this is the hierarchy and like, you know, I need people to understand and respect my authority and stuff like that. It seemed like she had a little bit of a slyer thing going on with a lot of the filmmaking that she was attempting to do. And maybe that also doesn't inspire confidence in investors a lot of time. You know, I mean, like maybe, you know, it's not playing the game in some ways, but when you want such low stakes, like you want less money to make your movie, like it seems surprising that she couldn't find anybody else to produce like a cheap script, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's such a shame, and I really think that's because she's a woman. Like, I think that if she had been a man who made an unusual, non-traditional first film, even if it wasn't super successful, she would have been given another chance, especially because she wasn't asking for that much money, like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so... And, I mean, it's like another chance. Like, I mean, this movie had to be successful. Like I mean, I'm not commercially successful, but it's just like, it's not that much of an investment. It was a critical... I mean, it won an award. It wasn't exactly a critical success.
Well, like, Pauline Kael, when she reviewed it...
This is the thing, yeah.
Reviewed it alongside 2 other films. Her review contained reviews for 3 films total.
Okay.
Those other 2 films were Claire's Knee by Eric Romer and A New Leaf by Elaine May.
Well...
And she criticized all 3 of them.
Okay.
But she praised and criticized all 3 of them. And I would say probably equally. Like, she gave a decent amount of praise, quite a lot of praise to Wanda. And people misrepresent this because we'll get into it in a little bit, but people often think that Pauline Kael like hated this movie or something. She didn't. She said the very first sentence of her review for this is, "There's a lot to praise in this film." So it's so interesting that I think it was on equal footing in Pauline Kael's mind with those other 2 films, and yet those other 2 films have gone on, well, I mean, A New Leaf. Elaine May, obviously didn't get quite as much
her own
recognition as she should, but still, she
A New Leaf was pretty well liked by critics, I think.
And Elaine May is, for sure, received more success at the time than Barbara Loden.
Yeah, but also was stunted for sure.
Yes, because she's a woman.
Promise,
yeah. And then Romer is very highly regarded within the...
And he's a French
film.
He's a French dude making his own small movies, and they're not costing a lot of money.
Yeah. So it really had the potential.
But that was Loden's take, was like, the female critics fucked me over. That is what maybe it was a fake idea that people just started saying about the movie, but that was absolutely her take on this. She was like, I think they were all just jealous. That is what she said.
I heard that women at the time felt like it wasn't feminist enough.
Can you place some of the failure of Wanda at the feet of second wave feminism?
Yes.
I think you can.
You totally can.
I think that it's definitely a part of it. Yeah.
I think so. I 100%. I heard that they criticized it for caring more about poverty than gender politics.
So it's sort of before intersectionality was a thing, really,
Yeah, but it's so interesting.
But this movie has a sexual assault in it. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's absolutely gender comes into play in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many times.
And it's like it's so much of like a doll's house type thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, the beginning. Yeah, for sure.
And just the whole concept of like, the beginning. Like her rejecting family.
Do you want to talk about the movie? You want to explain what happened?
Yeah. Let's discuss.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Me?
It's
the woman?
Yes. I'm sorry, but you asked for it.
This movie opens with a crying baby. Wanda wakes up on the couch of her sister's house. She sees her sister holding a crying baby. She doesn't seem to enjoy the presence of the baby.
She's like, ugh.
Baby. And she's walking across some coal mines. It's set in Pennsylvania. It's very eerie. She looks like a ghost. Then we get to... I know it seems like I'm doing this like a very slow summary, but I'll speed it up in a second. But we get to the courtroom where her husband is trying to file for a divorce. And
she's late.
She's not there.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, where's your wife? And he's like, this is what I'm talking about.
This is exactly why I'm here.
Like, she sucks. She's a terrible mother. She's not taking care of her kids. She's never around. Like, she sucks. And then Wanda shows up with her hair curlers still on. And the judge is like, your husband just said all these things about you. And she's basically like, yeah. And he's like, you want me to take your children away from you? Like, you want me to grant this divorce? And she says that basically that they're better off without her. But she says it in a very like sad, meek, meager way. She's got this like adorable little voice.
Yeah, the meekness that Barbara Loden is able to convey. She is acting hard, but it's like it's just stripping away all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like her meekness is very intense.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So good.
She's really amazing in this.
It's like crazy that she could be doing so much acting without it even. It does not get even close to being overacting.
No.
Because she's just so understated.
She seems like she's doing less than the non-actors.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense in some ways, but it's like that. It really works.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's amazing. So yes, the divorce is granted, and then she's just the rest of the movie. She's just wandering around. What?
Yes, that's right. It's a very on the nose title, in my opinion, but it's good.
I didn't even realize that, except for the last time we started trying to record this podcast episode when we went through this whole thing, and I was like, what? It's Wanda? And now I gotta like pretend, and then I just felt like I was lying. I felt like I was lying, so I had to like just tell you that it was not a genuine what reaction just then. We already recorded a different take where I had the genuine reaction.
Maybe we could split it in, splice it in.
Maybe.
Anyways.
So
Wanda's wandering around.
Wandering around, sleeping with random dudes.
Just kind of for a place to stay.
Yeah,
she doesn't seem to have a place to live.
She doesn't seem to be like Pauline Kael in her review says that she's just like really bad at being a prostitute. Mm-hmm. Like she can't even do that.
I thought she was a prostitute, but then it seems like she wasn't. She was just sleeping with a dude, seeing where it was going.
Yeah, it's unclear. Like I got more of the sense that she was like sleeping with the guy just to have somebody to like latch onto.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't he take her to like an ice cream stand?
And then leaves her there.
Leaves her there, and she's just like left with this ice cream cone. It's like, yeah, that's what you get, lady. Just
so
a fucking
sad.
ice cream cone. Yeah, it's sad. It's basically comically sad, but not funny.
We were laughing out loud while watching it during the movie marathon.
But it is like that. I mean, it's just like the patheticness of her life is quite extreme.
Yes.
You know from the first 10 minutes of the movie, this is going to be a movie where this lady continues to fail.
Yeah.
There is no way she's going to get better.
No.
Like, there is no hope for this lady.
Yeah.
You're hoping that something interesting happens, and I think it does.
Yes.
Like, she gets involved in an interesting story, kind of.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're just, like, watching this, and it's just shots of her just being like, like, she falls asleep in a movie theater, and then wakes up in her somebody's robbed her, and just like she's like, what, did somebody rob me? What? Oh god.
That just really made me appreciate how like if you don't have a home to stay in, the safety of your belongings is just always in danger. Like you're always at risk of getting robbed.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. Sorry, I'm sure this is like a very obvious thing to a lot of people out there, but
yeah,
that sucks.
A home is a great place to store your wallet.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to sleep sometime.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you're watching that part, you're like, okay, well, she is pretty irresponsible. But it's like, where else is she? What's she supposed to do?
No, right. And the interesting thing about this character, as Loden conceives her, is like, she says this is a person who does not understand how to live in the world. right?
Yeah, and isn't equipped.
Isn't equipped. She's not educated. She's not smart.
She got married too young.
She's in a bad place. And she's just like... It's sort of a larger metaphor for like the human condition and the way that we all are sort of like ill-equipped to exist in this. But it's like she doesn't even have the education to understand what her situation is. She just knows my life is shitty, but she couldn't articulate the various forces and issues that she has that make her life so shitty. She just knows that it's shitty.
I mean, I think she thinks it's her fault. Like,
right? Yeah,
she literally says at one point, "I'm just no good."
Yeah.
And the way she says that line, oh my god, it's so...
Well, no, that's the first time that she smiles in the movie, is when she says, "I'm just no good." And then the second time she smiles is when Mr. Dennis says, "You did a good job."
Oh, what about when he asks if she can drive?
Does she smile then?
I thought she kind of smirked, but maybe I was just smiling because it was funny.
I don't know.
She said, kind of.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But no, like, I remember, like, the first time that I saw her smile was when she's like, "I'm just no good." Like, that's the closest to a revelation that she has.
That's so interesting.
It's the closest to a piece of understanding that she gets.
That's so interesting.
So...
Okay,
she's wandering around.
Wandering. Okay.
And she goes in to grab a beer. She's a lot of beer drinking and cigarette smoking in this movie.
Especially the end
nice.
scene.
Yeah,
the end scene, they're like just pushing it in your face, shoving it in hard.
Yeah, we'll get into that end scene and what you think's going on there. So she goes into a bar to get a beer, and she sees this guy who she thinks is a bartender.
Yeah, and I think she, like, asks him for some stuff, like rag to wipe her face, or I don't know, something like
rag
that.
to wipe my face?
I think she asks for a rag, and he looks...
Please have a rag to wipe my face? What's that? Oh, that's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And then Mr. Dennis looks down, like, the person you think is the bartender looks down, and you see that there is an actual bartender on the ground gagged.
Yeah, I thought he was dead at first.
Oh, really?
But he's not.
No, he's just
lying there.
Yeah, gagged and stuff. And then you realize that guy is robbing the place.
Yeah.
And then she just tags along.
Yeah, she tags along. He's sort of like bringing her along, but not really. She's kind of like...
I remember reading an article about this movie that specifically points out at the end of that scene, he says, "Let's go."
Right.
He says, like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Including her in it.
Yeah.
So he kind of immediately realizes, like, "Oh, I'm going to take this chick along."
But it's kind of like... It's like a dog has followed him home.
Yes.
And he's like, "Okay, come on. Like, we gotta go. Like, the cops are gonna come eventually, so, like, let's go." You know?
Right. Because she had made it clear in that scene that she's just a hot mess.
Yeah, right. You wonder, I guess, if it's like he thinks that she's gonna be a witness or something. But it's like, they do get sort of sexually involved, but it's not, he's not, like, bringing her along because he's like... "Oh, this is a hot lady," even though she is cute, but, like, you know.
I think that he needs a crew.
Yeah.
He kind of makes her the getaway driver, although she sucks at it.
Right.
And also, he gets
Wanda.
to sleep with her. And also, I think he just doesn't mind the company.
Yeah. They're both sort of... Like, he's kind of crabby.
Yeah.
He's kind of irritable, and she's a little irritated, typically. But she's basically pretty passive and not really... She's not, like, being a jerk, ever.
Yeah. She's very passive. And, yeah, she does get a little irritated. I think you're right. Like, that scene where he's trying to steal a car.
Yeah.
And he hotwires it. She's like, "Why didn't you just use the keys?"
Yeah.
And then he gets mad at her for pointing out that there were keys there the whole time. But she clearly, in that moment, is like... The question of Wanda's intelligence...
Yeah.
...is definitely something... that's on your mind when you're watching it. Just uneducated versus, you know, not the quickest person in the world. Like, which is it?
Yeah, it's like, I guess the idea is like, she's got everything against her. Like, she's in a bad socioeconomic situation, but it's like, would she be in a much better position if she was like the daughter of a rich guy? I guess, but it's also just like, you kind of sense she would probably fuck up her life that way too. In some ways, because she just got, like, it's like every possible problem a person could have.
It's interesting they include this scene where she has a factory job at one point, and then she gets fired because she's just too slow.
No, she's trying to
physically slow.
She's trying to get a job sewing.
She's trying to get rehired.
And he's like, "You're just too slow."
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. Like, I gotta be honest with you, lady. Like, you can't hack it as a factory worker. Like,
and that's so sad.
It really is. And she's not even like, I can learn. I can try and get better. It's just like everybody knows, like, you will not be better. You will never be good enough to work this this terrible job.
But at the same time, like, she is in this shitty life. Like, of course she's not going to be motivated.
She's incredibly depressed.
Right. Like,
too.
maybe if maybe she felt better about what the reality of her life was, she would be able to, like, be a more efficient worker or something. Not that I think everybody should
be a productive member of society, for God's sake.
I just mean, like, she might be capable of doing it. Like, I don't think we could possibly ever know what Wanda is capable of if she had been in a better life situation. It's
just fascinating to have a central character that is such a lump, like such a bad person at being a human. Like, she's just like can't exist as a human. There was something that somebody said about like Preferis's camera work where like she's a lot of the time like not even being quite captured by, like, the camera has to like go back to where she was because it's like she's just off screen, like she's barely being captured by the camera. Like, it has to be like, come on, Wanda, come along. But it's like she is not the proactive character, really. Like, she's like, Mr. Dennis is the more proactive character, but as you said, it's called Wanda.
Yeah, no, like, that's why it's so interesting that if the movie focused on him, her character would be criticized as being an underwritten character.
Yes.
But because the movie is titled Wanda, because it's focused on her, now it just totally flips your perspective. And now you consider this person who doesn't have that much going for them. And also it makes her seem a much more interesting character. Even though she doesn't have a lot that she's projecting out there, you're just so much more fascinated by her interiority.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so interesting.
So I think that's a really great point. And that's why all of these supposedly badly written women characters are actually great. So basically just what happens in the plot is they're sort of going on a road trip. It's a bit of a road movie.
Yeah.
They visit various things. We'll talk about, he sees his father. Mr. Dennis goes to see his father.
At Holy Land, USA. We got to talk about that.
We will. But what happens is Mr. Dennis has a bank robbery scheme.
Yes.
Which he conscripts Wanda into.
Yeah.
And he's also a bad criminal. Like, he's not.
Yeah, he sucks too.
He's not a criminal mastermind, but he's proactive.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like trying to do something.
Yeah.
And it's like his authoritative patriarchal like bossiness is sort of the closest thing to being a good thing in Wanda's life that she's got, in a way.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't quite enliven her, and like in the end she fucks up the bank robbery. He fucks up the bank robbery too, but like she can't fulfill what she needs, and he gets killed, and she shows up late to the bank robbery. She shows up late. She doesn't even get there on time, and he's already been killed. But it's like they've sort of had a moment where like she's trying to do something, she's trying to help. He's like, you can do it.
Yeah, he gives her validation, and she's genuinely happy.
Yes. And she's being told what to do and being given a thing, and we'll talk about what that means to Barbara Loden. But yeah, basically, like, that's the story. Is like she has this brief moment of being enlivened by her interaction with this criminal,
Mr. Dennis, who is played by Michael Higgins, and that character, once he shows up, it kind of reminded me of what's that Ray Liotta movie? Something Wild.
Yes.
Yeah, where as soon as Ray Liotta's character shows up, then it kind of gives this extra spark to the film.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about Mr. Dennis. Once he shows up, Barbara Loden, like Wanda's character, suddenly perks up a bit more, and he's a dynamic character, and the movie kind of becomes a little more fun, I guess, because now you got this like crime spree type thing.
They're trying to do a thing,
yeah,
insteed of just wandering around.
Yeah, there's a plot that you're looking forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the inspiration of the film?
Yeah, so this is considered fairly semi-autobiographical.
The character is
the autobiographical. Right, the character.
Aspect. Yeah, right.
But it was inspired, the plot was inspired largely by this newspaper article that Barbara Loden had read about this woman who had abandoned her children and was wandering around and became an accomplice for a small-time bank robber. and they were caught, and then the woman was sentenced to 20 years in jail. And after becoming sentenced, she thanked the judge because she viewed incarceration as a welcome reprieve from her life.
Yeah, she'd get food and shelter and not have to worry about making decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's just, that's so sad. And so Barbara Loden had read that article and just was really touched by that emotional complexity behind that decision and the struggles that this working class woman had go through to view jail as a good alternative to her life.
And Loden was from a pretty poor background.
Yes.
Like, she'd grown up in a very economically devastated time. She grew up in the Depression.
Yes. I think Wanda, the character, definitely there's parts of her that's in it. Like, she says that.
She considers herself very passive.
Yeah. Loden had said, it was sort of based on my own personality, a sort of passive wandering around, passing from one person to another, no direction. I spent many years of my life that way, and I felt that, well, I think a lot of people are that way. And not just women, but men too. They don't know why they exist.
Yeah.
So definitely Wanda, she identifies with. But I also think that she really channeled her feelings about her mother in the Wanda character. Like, her mother had very little education, was married young, had children during the Depression, the Great Depression, and her mother had to work in a different town, and so she only saw her mother on weekends, and she got very little emotional compassion from her mother, and so she had a bad relationship with her mother until the very end of her mom's life, when they reconnected, when her mother was, having health problems.
Taking care of her while she was dying.
Yeah. Her mom told her that she tried to abort her.
Yeah.
So I think, and Barbara Loden had obviously a lot of, like, difficult emotions with that, but was eventually able to, like, have empathy for where her mom was coming from at the time. So I think she put a lot of her mother in that character as well.
Yeah, and she said that she put a lot of Elia Kazan into Mr. Dennis.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
I specifically wrote down how similar they seemed because Elia Kazan... Okay, let's just jump into Elia Kazan.
Yeah, okay, so Elia Kazan, well, what can you say? He's a foundational figure of 20th century drama, 20th century film, acting styles, directing styles, and of course there's a healthy dose of naming names to the House Un-American Activities Committee. If you don't know Elia Kazan, he was an actor in the group theater in the 30s, and ultimately he helped found the Actors Studio, which Barbara Loden took classes at, which is, then was later taken over by Lee Strasberg, who was one of Konstantin Stanislavski's students, and a proponent of a certain form of the method, the so-called method, or method acting, as people like to refer to it now.
So this is a big acting studio. Like, this is a well-known
yes.
thing in the acting community. Because I'm not involved in theater at all, and that really means nothing to me, except that those long last names I know you've told me about before.
Strasberg and Stanislavski and stuff?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, Stanislavski basically, like, invented modern acting. Like, okay, just, like, I feel like I've said this before, but just, like, a quick thing about, like, method acting, at least in my opinion, is, like, people have this concept of, like, being a method actor now that's just based on, like, kind of over-the-top experiments in character identification that famous actors have been given license to do, which usually involves them being sort of insufferable to crew members or sometimes strangers or other actors. But really what method acting is what people are thinking of it is it's really just staying in character, right? Like, just, like, continuing to stay in character on set or while you're working on a thing. But what the method is acting. Like, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, unless you're watching a movie from, like, the 30s or, 40s and 50s, I mean, it's like most of the acting that you're likely to see is, like, some version of the method, which is attempting to portray realism. In the 19th century, people would literally be like, Madame, come down from your window. And I mean, it was just like this totally artificial, stagey idea of acting. And method acting is basically just like, what if you try and imagine being like the character? And what if you actually like try and portray human behavior? And this comes along with trends in playwriting, in such as Ibsen and Chekhov. And then later, we have the mid-century American playwrights, Tennessee Williams and Eugene O'Neill and Miller and stuff. It's attempting to have real characters behaving in a more recognizable, realistic way. And, it's like method acting is just acting, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's like, there's people who take staying in character to a certain extreme, but I also think even that gets too much of a bad rap. Like, it's better to stay in character, like, if you're, those usually result in better performances.
As long as you're not being an asshole or putting yourself in too much danger.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, there's some things where it's like, you could argue that, like, with Daniel Day-Lewis, it's like, I guess it's, like, annoying to be a crew member and have to carry him around set when he's playing the My Left Foot guy, but I don't know, like, he won Best Actor, like, the proof's of the pudding, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, I feel like it's like, there's a difference between something like that and something like mailing a used condom to your co-star, which is what Jared Leto did as the Joker, an incredibly small role in the Suicide Squad, which is the extra silly thing about that. It's just like, it ain't that hard. It's the Joker, and it's been done, and it's not even the main character in this movie, But, so Kazan, right? He is best known as a director of such classics as A Streetcar Named Desire, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, Gentleman's Agreement, the worst Best Picture winner of all time, in my opinion, probably. I
feel like we've given that accolade to some other movie on this podcast before.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there have been some bad ones. Best Picture winners don't tend to age as well as some other movies.
Nah.
Very often.
Yeah.
But Gentleman's Agreement is definitely super bad.
Splendor in the Grass.
Splendor in the Grass, which is a movie that I really love and has come up on this several times on this podcast because it's got Warren Beatty and Natalie Wood in it.
And it also has Barbara Loden
in it.
Playing Warren Beatty's sister, Ginny.
Sexually adventurous sister.
Yes.
So, Kazan, director, he works a lot of social issues into his work, which is sort of interesting because he then is perhaps at this point most infamous for probably being the most well-known collaborator with, or friendly witness with, the House Un-American Activities Committee, or aka also known as McCarthyism.
Which was...
Yeah,
okay,
give it back. Yeah, you give it to me now. Yeah,
I'm bad at history, but during the Cold War...
Yes, during a point of the Cold War.
Trying to, like, find out if we had any communists involved in our movie making, putting their communist propaganda into flicks.
Right, which we did. Like, there were people who were avowed communists. Like, this is what Dalton Trumbo... He was a communist. I'm not saying that he should have been blacklisted.
I don't know who Dalton Trumbo is.
Well, yeah, no, so there was plenty of writers, plenty of actors who had been members of the Communist Party. This is... Oppenheimer is a movie that recently came out and details this thing of, like, the fact that there was a lot of people in America who were incredibly friendly to communism, and a lot of this had to do with the sort of way that the Soviet Union was being perceived to the outside world until sort of Stalin's crimes became public knowledge later on versus, are we trying to just solve America's social issues, or are we trying to, throw in with a sort of foreign power that wants to take over the country and stuff? There were people who, like Elia Kazan, who had communist ties, who later on, I guess I'm giving a little bit of a sympathetic reading of what he did in some ways, who later on were just like, no, I actually am not into that anymore, and I don't care if I renounce it, and I don't care if I point out the other people that I knew who were involved in it, because I do think it's a bad thing to be involved in. And his career was largely unaffected. He was able to go on and make films, but due to his testimony, there were people that were not allowed. They were blacklisted. And It's pretty fucked up. And he's just sort of like, he's gone down as, his name lives in infamy to a certain degree. Like, he was given an honorary Oscar in 1999, and a lot of people didn't clap. And there was visible people who were just sort of like arms crossed sitting there, and they won't forgive him for it. And
he's considered a traitor by the film community.
Yeah, well, yeah, like
by a lot of people in the film community.
Somebody asked Wells about him one time, and he was like, "Yeah, don't fucking talk to me about that guy." he's like, I hate that guy, you know. And a lot of people feel that way, like, and I basically do too. It's kind of like fuck Elia Kazan, you know, like
His personality also is the kind of personality that would rub a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Although weirdly,
and Barbara Loden married him.
You know what?
So, you know,
she
married him way after the HUAC trials, by the way.
I'm gonna read some quotes that he said about Loden. Their relationship is so interesting. He has a lot of very kind, sweet things to say about her, but then he also is a total asshole at other times. Some quotes. She's one of the most honest directors. Like, he really respects how honest she is.
His work has a much more artificial vibe.
Yeah.
They knew that they would never... She was like, he would never make this. And I would not want him to.
They're complete opposites in terms of movie-making style. Like, she specifically did not want that glam look. Barbara Loden has this quote, "I really hate slick pictures. They're too perfect to be believable. I don't mean just in the look. I mean in the rhythm, in the cutting, the music, everything. The slicker the technique is, the slicker the content becomes, until everything turns into formica, including the people." I had to Google what formica means. Apparently means laminate.
Yeah.
I think it was a word everybody would recognize back in the day. But.
I feel like there's a lot of formica that you see in Wanda.
What is it?
There's just like a lot of like cheesy wallpapers and kitchens and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm using it wrong though. But sorry, but Kazan.
But it sounds like she didn't like Kazan films.
No.
Based on the fact that she doesn't like slick movies. Like, his movies are so slick. They're so 50s, emotional, dreamy.
I mean, you could, I don't know. I think there's a certain amount of, like, Streetcar, certainly, where, I mean, you're getting Marlon Brando acting in a little bit more of a sort of...
That's true.
But still very stagey. And I mean, that play is very poetic and very heightened.
Yeah.
But she also was, like, not a movie fan.
Yeah.
Too, in general.
That's true.
She had this really fascinating point where she was like, because she grew up in the Depression, right? Where movies were, as we talked about, the thing to do. It was like 1/3 of American population went to the movies once a week in the Depression.
Still the thing to do in my life. Like, anytime I'm like, oh, what should we do? It's like, well, let's go see a movie. But I get what you're saying.
But this is
like,
New Hollywood.
Much more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, New Hollywood, it's stopping. It was not anywhere close to the levels of how popular it was.
Yeah.
And that made it associate to her as just another one of the drudgery, crappy things you had to do in life. Was just like, well, now it's time to go to the movies. Like, she was like, some people talk about movies as being an escape, but for me, it was just like another chore. Which I think is so fascinating. And that's like the scene in Wanda when she goes to the movies.
Yeah.
It's like, she's just like, oh, I'll go to the movies, Yeah,
she's not even watching.
No.
And there's Ave Maria playing in the background.
She doesn't appreciate the beauty of Ave Maria. I guess, is that the point?
I wasn't sure. At first I was like, oh, she's watching opera, although actually it's not. It's this movie El Golfo, a musical comedy. So it's not as cultured as it seems, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen El Golfo. But at first I was like, oh, she's got this artistic side. She's watching opera, but no, she's just asleep in the movie theater, and you realize she doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Just a place.
She just needs a place to sleep.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is doing that bait and switch about always just trying to get you to think about her interiority and what's underneath.
Yeah, and the answer is not much.
Or the answer is like, there's not an opportunity
she doesn't even know.
There's not an opportunity for you to find out, and there's not an opportunity for her to find out either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, probably, not a big fan of Kazan's work. They're sort of diametrically opposed, right?
But she clearly
loved his politics,
loved
though.
him. His politics.
Loved his politics.
I think she liked... I think that she was drawn... I mean, I don't know, obviously. I don't know her.
I think they're both artists.
I feel like she was drawn to his intellectualism.
Yeah.
Because I think that was something she was insecure about. And she wanted to be seen as an artist. And she felt insecure about her own education level. And, yeah, I think she was just drawn to that in him.
There's a little bit of a Pygmalion aspect to Wanda.
And I think that's also the case
in their thing.
Yeah.
You know, her reaction to like the female critics of the time, so which wasn't just Kale, it was Judith Crist, none of which I could find any of their reviews, but she was like, all the women were the ones that ruined this movie. They were jealous. She was like, I think that they just, you know, they wish that they could make something like this, but they didn't. Like, I think that she probably is the kind of person who would get the nuances of Kazan's position politically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's the kind of person who's, I bet, not an ideological purist.
Yeah.
Again, she's, like, not interested in just making a movie about feminism.
Yeah.
Like, it's got feminism in it, for sure, but it's, like, it's about a lot of different social issues which she cares about, which Kazan was probably the same way, I think.
I could see myself, like, having a crush on a dude like Kazan, because he's charismatic and intellectual, and he's got that asshole thing, and it's not that I'm drawn to assholes. Like, I've dated a wide variety of guys, so it's not just that I've got, like, a single type, but that is a type that I could see myself getting into, so I could really...
Look at young Kazan.
Yeah, but he wasn't young when she married him.
Yeah,
right?
that's like...
he was, like, 20 years older than her.
15 years before him, but he's got a vibe. He was an actor.
Yeah, he's got a vibe.
He was not an unattractive guy.
And he had,
you know, like,
confidence.
Right, exactly.
And he seemed very charismatic.
This is a good picture.
That is a good picture.
That's a good picture.
We're on Wikipedia.
We're on Wikipedia. Yeah. This is a good, like, 50s actor, director, headshot. It's very dramatic. He's got a pinstripe suit on.
Yeah.
Why don't actors have headshots with pinstripe suits anymore?
Yeah, you should.
I should get that. One. I should do that. And I'm like staring intently at like off. Recently, if you might recognize Adrian Brody in Asteroid City.
Wes Anderson's
Asteroids. Yes, Wes Anderson's Asteroid City is
no, sorry. Okay, just
is no. Adrian Brody is clearly playing a version of Elia Kazan.
Yeah.
He's clearly based on him. This is after, by the way, Adrian Brody just played Arthur Miller in Blonde. So he's kind of like going through these like mid-century dramatists.
He's got that thing about him.
That thing. Yeah, no, he does. He definitely does. I guess we're in a bit of a Brody-sance right now. He's on Winning Time. He's playing Pat Riley. He's very good.
But anyways, yeah, I'm embarrassed to admit I can kind of relate to, like, it's not that I am drawn to Kazan, but I could imagine myself being drawn to a person like him if I had met somebody like him, as long as he wasn't, like, 20 years older than me.
And you're somebody who I think could
nuance,
get past the
exactly
sort of, like, obvious, he's a traitor
right
thing, and see the... You know, he was in a weird position, as a lot of people were, and I think he considers himself having made like one of two bad decisions. I feel like I probably would have gone the Dalton Trumbo route, you know?
What okay, you said that again. I still don't know who that is or what that means.
Well, so the Blacklist, I mean, if you want to talk just like a little bit about the Blacklist and sort of what its impact on Hollywood was, which was great, was...
Great as in large.
It was wonderful. Yeah, no, it was great. It really has to do with writers, right? Because you can't find a workaround the Blacklist as an actor or a director, because people will see that you're the blacklisted actor.
Right.
You can't pretend to be you can't just put on a mustache and be like, I'm this other actor.
Gotcha.
But as a writer, you can write under a pseudonym. Or you can have a fake person be your front.
Okay.
There's a whole movie with Zero Mostel and Woody Allen and stuff where it's all about, like, this guy's a front for blacklisted writers.
Gotcha.
Right? And so then the way that the stranglehold of the Blacklist was broken was when scripts started, like, winning Oscars that everybody knew was written by a blacklisted writer.
Okay.
And so it's like and Dalton Trumbo was kind of the mascot of this in a lot of ways. He was sort of considered one of the most in-demand writers and one of the most outspoken communists.
Okay.
And recently Bryan Cranston played him in a movie.
Okay.
Smoked in a bathtub and had, glasses. He had this, real vibe and stuff. And so, yeah, the Blacklist was ultimately really broken by writers, was how. But there were a lot of actors who never recovered their careers, and directors and stuff.
Anyways, okay. Back to Elia Kazan.
Yeah.
I want to keep reading some of these quotes he said about her. About Barbara Loden. He describes Loden as conceived in a field of daisies. Barbara Loden was born anti-respectable. She was feisty with men, fearless on the streets, dubious of all ethical principles.
Like not naming names?
Maybe.
She didn't buy into any of that ideological crap.
This is a different quote. When I first met her, she had little choice but to depend on her sexual appeal. But after Wanda, she no longer needed to be that way, no longer wore clothes that dramatized her lure, no longer came on as a frail, uncertain woman who depended on men who had the power. I realized I was losing her, but I was also losing interest in her struggle. She was careless about managing the house, let it fall apart, and I'm an old-fashioned man. That's just so...
That's honest.
It's honest, it's so interesting. It's so assholey. Being
Yeah.
like, yeah, she became more independent and she lost interest in me and I lost interest in her struggle. Like, he clearly is just straight up admitting that he preferred it when she felt, like, uncertain and timid and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's so assholey. And hopefully, if I had been drawn to an Elia Kazan, similar to Barbara Loden, I mean, she, their relationship fell apart towards the end.
She died.
No, they were going to get a divorce before she
really?
died, but then never ended up happening because she had cancer.
Oh, I was just going to say, because, like, he was married to somebody else, and she died. So I was going to be like, say what you will about Kazan, he stuck it to the end.
Oh.
You know?
No, I mean, Loden and Kazan started having an affair when they were both married to other people. So he didn't really stick it out.
Wait, am I wrong about this? Maybe she didn't. Maybe the first one didn't die. Maybe I just invented that.
I mean, maybe she died. I mean, I think their affair lasted a really long time before they got married.
Yeah,
so maybe
right. That's right. Because
died.
Splinter in the Grass is from 1960, and they didn't get married until 67.
Yeah,
Damn.
I think they had an affair for a long time.
Yeah, and
I think she had his kid before they got married.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I didn't pay any attention to this. Because the timeline is all weird because Barbara Loden's biggest acting success, would you say, was on stage in After the Fall?
Yeah, she got her Tony for it.
She won the supporting actress Tony, featured actress Tony.
Featured actress, yeah.
Playing in an Arthur Miller play, directed by Kazan.
Yeah.
Playing a thinly veiled version of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Who Arthur Miller had a relationship with,
yes,
right?
Right. And her understudy was Faye Dunaway.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting because...
Yes!
Because then Elia Kazan wrote a book called The Aftermath.
A play.
Oh, the play. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a book.
I think it was a movie, actually.
No, I think it was a book that turned into a movie.
Okay. Look, he did a lot of stuff, okay?
Okay, I think it was a book
Yeah.
that turned into a movie called The Aftermath, and it was basically about him and Barbara Loden's affair.
Yeah.
And so the movie, Barbara Loden was supposed to be cast as herself, and she was going to play opposite Marlon Brando, but then they couldn't get Marlon Brando, so instead... Oh, sorry. I'm calling it The Aftermath. It's The Arrangement.
The Arrangement.
I'm mixing up After the Fall
After
and
the
The
Fall
Arrangement.
with The Arrangement.
Okay, it's called The Arrangement. Barbara Loden was supposed to play opposite Brando, but he eventually turned down the role. They got Kirk Douglas instead. And apparently the studio said, Kirk Douglas and Barbara Loden, nobody's going to see that. So instead they cast Faye Dunaway to play Barbara Loden's character. And Loden, never forgave Kazan for not casting her in that movie.
I mean, I get it.
About her own life.
Yeah, but, yeah. I get it. I mean, it is this interesting cycle, right? And so this is, Faye Dunaway, fresh off of Bonnie and Clyde. She's a superstar.
Yeah, and then there's the whole Bonnie and Clyde Wanda comparison, which we can talk about.
Yeah. God, one does wonder what Barbara Loden thought about Faye Dunaway in general,
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway, kind of a famous...
Did they hate each other?
I bet they did. I bet they did have issues with each other, but maybe not. I don't know. I guess.
Did you? I mean,
I'm just assuming they. I'm just subscribing to the girl fight theory of history.
Have you ever had tension with your understudy?
Have I ever had tension with my understudy?
Because didn't you have this one guy who tended to be cast as your understudy? Do you not want to talk about this in case
No.
listens to this podcast?
No. I didn't have tension with my understudy. I've usually liked my understudy. I actually had one time where I was the understudy that was honestly one of my great triumphs because the guy was out for a long time, 10 performances.
Whoa, why?
I don't know how specific I want to get about this, but
is it juicy?
No. He was out because he had I'll just say, okay, so he was out because he went to do a trip in the middle of the thing.
That sounds like a no-no.
Yeah, and then he got sick when he came back, like on the plane.
Oh no.
And so I was on for like 10 performances, and like I kind of got good at the role, and like.
What show is it?
Do you really want me to say all this? Like,
I'm interested.
It was Showboat. I'm a big fan of the guy who I was understudying. He's one of my favorite actors that I've ever worked with. But I did think that I did a pretty good job because I got a chance to like really get into the role. Like I was basically did like a couple of weeks as in the character, and I actually think I would be pretty good in that role in general. But
so you
but we didn't have tension. We didn't have tension with each other.
Okay, but you were kind of gunning for you. I mean, I guess all understudies, when they get the chance to perform the role, they're like, I'm going to perform the fuck out of this.
I'll tell you my one thing with my understudy was like, so when I played Huck Finn, I'll say this, and so I played Huck Finn in Big River, and I was always like, I don't know if I'm really doing this quite right. Like I was like, I can't quite tell if I'm getting, there's something about this that's missing. And I actually had an ex-girlfriend come and see it and basically say that same thing to me. So like, the understudy was a guy who's like he's super nice, super cool guy. We've known each other since high school. And he's like an incredibly tall dude. And there was already kind of a weird thing with this production because like I was the same height as Jim, who like, it's Huck Finn. So it's like, we're the kind of the two companions. And it's like, I'm supposed to be like a boy and he's like a man. So it was like, it was all, and it's sort of like a love story between us. So it was like very just kind of gay and like adult, like it just seemed like two adults.
Yeah.
But this guy who was my understudy is like huge. So then it was like Huck was like this like hulking man-child, and in a way, and it was like especially weird and funny, but it kind of also worked. But so like I was out for a week and I got to see him go on, and it's like, there was a lot of aspects of it that it's like he couldn't quite, as an understudy, it takes a while to get all of the nuances, especially with such a complicated role. But it was immediately clear what he got that I didn't have, and like what I had been missing, and like there was just like things that he just like fucking nailed that like I had been struggling with, and like I'd thought about it. Like I'll just tell you this one thing. Sorry, we're gonna cut this out, probably, right?
I'm interested.
Okay,
in this.
so like there was this one thing where like I had to do this monologue that's like, where I'm talking about faking my own death by like butchering a hog and like and putting blood everywhere and stuff like that. And I'm like, I had to do this thing. It's kind of so awful. I probably shouldn't tell you about it, but I will. And like, so, I was like struggling with like, how do I get that like, but I will joke in like, like, what do I do? And I was like, and I did it like very understated, and it just like never got a reaction. And like, I just saw him do it, and he was like, I shouldn't tell you about it, but I will. And it just like brought the house down.
Yeah.
Like, it was like so obvious. I was like, it was like this kind of aspect of like being like he was just like a lot more effective at the I'm a nasty kid kind of thing, which it's like I was playing the more sensitive aspects of Huck, which are very present in that show. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, yeah, that's what I'm missing.
I feel like it'd be worthwhile if in every theater production, close to when you have your opening night, you get to see your understudy perform the role.
Yeah.
Because they've been watching the way you do it.
Right, exactly.
They found your flaws.
Right,
and
exactly.
they're going to try and fix it when they do their performance.
Yes, exactly.
But then maybe that'd just be, like, shitty because then you, like, take all their good stuff and take it for yourself.
I think it's hard to even take the stuff from them at that point. It's like, I don't know. It is a weird thing. In college, one time, the one production I was in college, I did it. We did an understudy run where both understudies went on for the characters. We got to choose a character we went on, and I was just.
Oh, so this is the thing.
I was so obviously so much better than the guy who was like playing, and it was so clear to everybody and so clear to the guy, and it was like
embarrassing.
I talked to that guy years later, who he was like a senior who like in my acting program, which I dropped out of, like you had to be cast in something, in order to graduate. Okay. So there were times where like if you get to a certain point, they'll be like, okay, you need to just put this person in a thing, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time, this guy was like really making me doubt the legitimacy of this acting program, because I was just like,
but it's also like one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, people slip through, but I was just like, you can talk about acting, man, but I would never watch you in anything ever. Ran into that guy years later in New York, makes candy now.
Makes candy?
Not an actor anymore.
But that's so Poetic.
I know, isn't it?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like sad, but also lovely and beautiful. Do you think
He seemed much happier. He seemed very pleased with himself. He didn't seem...
Wait, is he designing his own candy?
Yeah, it seemed like an artisanal thing. I wonder...
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was... Yeah.
It was cool.
I'm sure he's doing much better than me in my life. But I'll always have that I'll always have that understudy for once. Yes, I've got an amazing wife. Got a great podcast.
Yeah.
Where we really talk about the movie Wanda by Barbara Loden.
We got 2 really great kitties.
We have wonderful kitties. Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
This movie's in conversation with Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. Some people called Wanda Blondie and Clyde.
Oh, okay.
So obviously, a couple doing petty crimes and bank robberies.
This was a thing in movies in this period. Badlands, like thrill killers, like Cross Country, Guy and Girl, was clearly something that people were, they saw Bonnie and Clyde and they were like, oh, more of this, please.
Yeah, but so Loden had been working on Wanda like
for 10 years.
10 years. So she'd been working on this way before Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, I mean Arthur Penn Benton and Newman had been working on Bonnie and Clyde for basically as long.
Fine. But I guess they're all like influenced by a similar thing going on at the time. Maybe.
Yeah, people like looking at crime. I don't know.
I don't know what it was about those bank robbery things, but whatever.
Well, it's that you can be a little bit more. You could show anti-heroes, and you can sort of sympathize with criminals a little bit.
It's New Hollywood, man.
It's fucking New Hollywood.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah, it's true.
It is actually.
That's
why.
That's what it is.
That's why. Yeah, Loden said, "I wrote the script about 10 years before Arthur Penn made Bonnie and Clyde. I didn't care for it as in Bonnie and Clyde, because it was unrealistic and it glamorized the characters.
Absolutely.
People like that would never get into those situations or lead that kind of life. They were too beautiful. Wanda is anti-Bonnie and Clyde, is what she says. Yeah.
No, and I read something that's like, Wanda has a signature look. Like, she gets a hat. And, but that's not making her into a style icon at all, the way that Faye Dunaway's look is manufacturing a style iconography.
Yeah. Like, they're very self-consciously looking good.
Yeah.
While making Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, the Blondie and Clyde thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like blondness comes up a bit when talking about Barbara Loden and Wanda.
She played Marilyn
Monroe. You can view Wanda as, like, a lot of people might view Wanda as very unintelligent, and I wonder if part of that is influenced by the stereotype of a blonde.
You think that's why I'm viewing Wanda as unintelligent?
No, but I think it might contribute to it. I don't know. And
but she was blonde, though. It's not like she dyed her hair blonde.
No, I know, but like the audience might even read it even more.
She's very well cast.
And okay, maybe I'm stretching a bit, but
no, I think you're right. Like, I think she looks perfect for the role.
Yeah, and there was this one article I was reading that describes that one of the most prominent props in the movie Wanda is Wanda's hair.
Yes.
Because it's constantly... It's clearly a guy who wrote this. It's like constantly arranged in different shapes, which is just such a funny way of saying like different hairdos. Like different shapes of her hair.
Those shapes on her head.
But it's always like in a different hairdo, and it's always getting in her way. And it's another part of her world that she can't control.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting.
No, it really is. Like, the hair, you notice the hair. I mean, she starts off in curlers, right?
Yeah.
And, then she's got the weird hat, bathing hat, cap.
Right.
White feather thing.
Right.
And then sometimes it's, like, on her head.
Right.
I feel like there's sometimes...
flopping over.
There's sometimes where, like, she's like... Is Dennis like, get your hair out of my face or something like that? Or am I just making that up?
I know, but it is getting in her way.
Yeah, like it's...
Like, she has to, like, move it out of the way and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, like, hanging... Like, she's sleeping on a mattress and it's, like, hanging over the side in a ponytail. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just...
This movie is all... It's, like, super deglammed, right? It's, like, full of non-actors. And there's a lot of, like, interesting use of non-actors that is largely born out of necessity. And, like, what they discovered when they started working with these people. Because, like, a lot of it is just, like, Loden's like, oh, you like, you're an interesting person. Let's put you in the movie. And then the camera starts rolling and she's like, oh, you suck. Like, you can't do this at all. Like, the guy at the beginning, the guy who she has a conversation with about the coal and stuff like that, she was like, we met this guy, and, like, we just had a great conversation. We asked him to be in the movie, and then we came back the next day, and apparently his wife had said, like, don't go running your mouth in this movie. And so then he just, like, wouldn't say anything, and so that they just, like,
that's so annoying.
Okay, like...
Yeah, they ended up having to improv quite a lot of the script because when they started working with these non-professional actors, they're like, oh, they can't say any of these lines.
Yeah.
Like, we just gotta, like, do the best we can and just kind of forget about the script.
Yeah, the beginning shot with, like, her in the courtroom, it's like the judge is this disembodied voice, and, like, it's notable. And, like, you're like, oh, what does this mean? Like, it's like this... judgment from God or from, society or whatever. And, like, I heard an interview with her where people were like, yeah, what was the significance of not showing the judge? And she's like, oh, he was really bad. He sucked. And they're like, oh, okay.
But I feel like all of that fit in perfectly with what Barbara Loden wanted for the movie. Because she just, as we've already mentioned, like, she didn't want a glamorized, slick-looking movie. And I think that's so cool that she's part of this world of... actors, actresses, theater, directors, and all that. She's surrounded by these glam movies, and she just wants no part of it, despite the fact that she's, like, super attractive.
Yeah.
Like, she really...
And a brilliant actor.
Yeah. And she really dresses down for this. Like, she's gorgeous, but doesn't... Like, I know you think that she looks pretty attractive in this movie, but I think they do a good job of, like, making her way less attractive than she is in real life.
Right.
Which is so cool that a female director chooses to do that for herself.
Yeah.
And for showing a female character that way. Just, it's cool that it's both super desexualizing her.
Yes.
But also...
Even though the movie's all about her having sex.
Right. It also shows her having sex, which at the time was super revolutionary to show an older woman. Because she's, like, older compared to most female leads.
She's like in her 30s.
I think she looks more like late 30s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think she's in her late 30s.
But at the time, female leads would be like in their 20s.
No, I know. I wasn't saying like she's only in her 30s. I was saying she's in her fucking 30s.
Gotcha. Yeah, gross. So showing a woman of that age being the lead character in a movie and like having sex with men.
Yeah.
That's pretty
maybe for money, not for money. If you got anything, it's okay. You don't have to give me anything.
But that's definitely like a feminist aspect of this movie, for sure. Let's talk about the Pauline Kael review. So...
That's such an interesting 3 movies.
I know,
Claire's
right?
Knee, New Leaf, and Wanda.
I know.
Pauline Kael, like, what a weekend.
Yeah, right. Those are the movies she went out to see. Like, wow. That's amazing.
New Leaf and Claire's Knee are 2 of my favorite movies.
Yeah. And now you really appreciate
I love Wanda. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. Pauline Kael.
Those are 3 movies that could maybe make it on my top 10. Sight and Sound. If I was trying to represent... Like, Claire's Knee, definitely. A New Leaf. Like... Hilarious and amazing. Like, that might be my favorite Elaine May movie.
It's definitely my favorite Elaine May movie.
You like it more than Heartbreak Kid?
Yes. Heartbreak Kid is that same sort of sad depressingness as The Graduate.
Yeah.
Okay. Pauline Kael is... often quoted saying that for reducing Wanda down as saying it's about a woman who's a sad, ignorant slut. I mean, that's a phrase. I understand why people pulled that phrase out. Yeah. But I just want to say it gives off the impression when people quote it that she's just saying oh, the movie's not good because it's just about a sad, ignorant slut.
She's like, that's just how we talked.
But like I think she thinks that
is the point that the movie's trying
that Barbara exactly that it was written that way. Yes. So she's not saying anything negative about the film by saying that. Yeah. She's saying something negative about the character, but not about the film. And
she's
she thinks
I wish you'd done more with this ignorant slut. I feel like it's a squandered opportunity to show me of this ignorant slut.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like one thing I read said. It was talking about Kael's review, and it said, Kael said Wanda was too much of an ignorant slut to be worthwhile of the viewer's time, empathy, or interest. There's no way that she said that. Like, Kael you don't understand Pauline Kael reviews if you think that that's what she was saying. Like, oh, it's not worth your time because she's a sad, ignorant slut. No, like I said, the very first sentence of her review says there is much to praise about this film. She says, the movie is very touching, but its truths, Wanda's small voice, her helplessness, are too minor and muted. Mutated. Are too muted for a full-length film. So she feels like, it's a little thin, which
it is.
I agree.
Well, and can we talk about that really quick?
Yeah.
The movie, as written, and even as conceived, even if they were going to stick to do an improvisational take on these scenes, I think was a little bit thicker. Like, I think the relationship with Mr. Dennis and Wanda was more developed.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to be critical of this movie in a way, I could maybe have used a couple more scenes of them. I don't know what I would want them to do, because so Barbara Loden has this attitude sometimes that really reminds me of rappers, where she talks about things as being corny. It's she hates with movies and stuff like that, where the slightest bit of artificiality or the slightest bit of that's like a movie, she's just I don't like it. They cut a lot of scenes from this movie that they shot.
Yeah.
And what she said was they were the good scenes. Were well acted. The scenes with Michael Higgins and her, they stuck out like a sore thumb in this movie.
Because the other scenes didn't come off as good?
It's not.
So
no,
they
I don't
were
even
just
think
by
it's
contrast?
No, I think it's she's they worked well as scenes. It's just when they were happening, you were this is a scene. I understand what this scene is trying to do, and I don't want my movie to have scenes where you understand what the scene's about.
It just takes away from the cinema verite grittiness.
Exactly.
Direct cinema, whatever.
Yeah, right. Yes, direct cinema, please. No, where she's just I don't, Michael Higgins, who played Mr. Dennis, wanted there to be some scene that was a little bit more romantic or some connection with them, and she's well, when you direct your own movie, you can do that, and stuff, because she's that's I don't want to have the scene in a movie. It's an adaptation in the end where he's scenes where characters learn things about each other or have a connection, a moment, and stuff like that. I think there's a version of this script that could have a more pointed moment where it's Wanda, I think you need to feel this way about your, you need to straighten up and figure out your life, or something, or her understanding why Mr. Dennis is the way he is.
Yeah.
Or something. She's just that's a movie. That's not this movie. That's
it
not
would
this
take
thing.
away from it,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
The ending was originally supposed to be the ending of the real life incident. So the ending scene where she just basically she finds out that Mr. Dennis has died.
Yeah.
She wanders away. She hitches a ride with a guy. He tries to sexually assault her. She runs away from him. She runs to this roadhouse. And there were some people in there that were professional actors.
Was the woman?
Yeah, the woman was.
Okay.
And stuff. And Loden was but mostly it was just this roadhouse that we filmed at. And she was and those people knew how to have a good time.
That band was so good.
Yeah. So it's just these people who were drinking and offering her cigarettes and beers and having a good time, and Wanda's just sitting there super depressed, right?
Yeah.
And what was supposed to happen was a couple people recognize her from this news thing that said we're looking for this woman, and so they try and help her escape, and they take her up to their room and they're going to disguise her, but then the cops come in and capture her, and Loden was just that's stupid. That's too much like a movie. Even though that is closer to what really happened.
Yeah.
She's I don't need to see her getting caught.
Yeah.
I don't need to see. It's what's going to happen. Her life's going to suck. She deliberately made it slighter.
Yeah.
And she wanted it to have this vibe that Kale is criticizing, that I think is an interesting thing to criticize, but I think it is kind of, I think Loden was right.
I think that the artistry involved is, with that thinness, is much better. It's so admirable. Yes. But if she could have that feel to it with something a bit more fleshed out.
Yeah.
I feel there could be more in there that a little more thought out, or maybe if she had actual actors and then could stick to some sort of script, but still staying away from those movie-like scenes that I think she was right to pull away from that. I love the ambiguity of the film, and I love the realness of it. It just feels so relatable, and not that I have
no,
life, but just the human condition.
It is very universal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all dumb sluts. It's true.
Sad, ignorant
I'm a sad,
sluts.
ignorant slut. I am nothing if not a sad, ignorant slut.
That was like the phrase, like I had mentioned that phrase from Pauline Kael while we were watching the movie in the movie marathon. It was super fun to just...
Yeah.
That was the phrase the rest of the movie.
Oh, we were busting it out at any time Wanda pulled a Wanda.
Oh, you sad, ignorant slut,
That's
you.
True. More Kael criticisms?
Yeah, well, not just criticism. Like, she said Miss Loden has a true gift for character, which is totally true, and that Loden is too honest to descend to anything actressy or glamorous. She said, despite its technical primitivism, Wanda represents an artistic kind of nihilistic neorealism.
Yeah.
I fully agree with it. She's got those criticisms that's a little thin. She thinks it's a little rough. I'd already read this quote about her saying it's rough for some good reasons because she's not trying to do anything the easy way. She's going the hard way about it. Like, she's really just trying to make some art, but not in a pretentious way. Like, she just seems... To me, she seems really driven by something in herself that she wants to get out. Like,
yeah, no, go.
It just seems so honest.
Well, and like that's
and authentic.
It's very authentic, and it is very personal in a way. Like that's what I'm getting at with like. It feels like she didn't even really care that much about it being seen by people. Like, it seems like she just wanted to see it herself, largely. Yeah. Like she just wanted it to be what she'd been thinking about for 10 years.
Yeah, her collaborator, Nick Preferis, had said that when they were in the editing room afterwards, it was such a strange, intimate experience because at that point, they just didn't think anybody was going to see it. They had all this footage, and they were still like, okay, we're going to make this movie. So they were putting all this time and effort into editing this thing that they really felt was just for themselves.
Yeah.
And that would be, I could imagine that being such like a personal experience, you know?
It's what you need to... It's one thing that can really help you make it. Like, if you really know you're not trying to make somebody else's work, you're making your thing, and you're making it for you.
Yeah.
That can really push you along sometimes. And it can also maybe...
prevent
help
you from getting studio backing.
Right. Or get in your own way as far as... maybe some things that other people would want in the movie. But I don't think I do. Like, I feel like I want this movie to be exactly the way it is.
I mean, the fact that she didn't compromise on any of that stuff, I think is the reason why it has made it to number 48 in the Sight and Sound poll.
Absolutely. No, like, this movie, like, I totally know what she's getting at, I think, when she talks about, like, if she had those more artificial scenes in it, this movie would be blander.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Like, it
would totally undercut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like most movies have at least one of those scenes. Like, in Daughters of the Dust, there was this monologue scene that both of us didn't like, and because it felt like that movie... Monologue. Yeah, the titular one, yeah. It felt like this... overly dramatized thing. I don't know. Yeah. It took away from it in the same way that I feel like a scene like that would have taken away from Wanda.
Absolutely. No.
Okay, there's another quote from Kael that I want to read because it segues into this whole question of the way that emotions are on display.
Okay.
Kael says, Wanda is a passive, bedraggled dummy. Bedraggled. So it's not about, like, you just woke up from bed.
Yeah, no. She's not a bedraggled.
What's bedraggled mean?
I don't really know. I think it just means, like, you're put upon. Let's look up bedraggled.
You sure it doesn't have anything to do with beds raggling you around?
Honestly, it might. No. I think it's bedraggled. I think that you are bedraggled.
Dirty and disheveled, as if you had just woken up from bed.
Really?
No, I added that last part.
But that's true, though.
Yeah. Except... ideally, you're not, like, dirty when you wake up from bed.
Okay.
But this says, like, threadbare. Like
thread counts? Like low thread count sheets? What does draggled mean?
Soiled, stained, as if trailing in mud. So that doesn't sound like bed-related at all.
Yeah, no, it's just because she's nasty.
Okay, she's just nasty.
She's all covered in shit.
Wanda is a passive, bedraggled dummy. We've all known dumb girls, and we've all known unhappy girls. The same girls are not often, I think, both dumb and unhappy. This is a Pauline Kael quote. in case you forgot that I was giving a Pauline Kael quote, I didn't want to make it seem like this is my own personal thoughts. Okay. We've all known dumb girls and we've all known unhappy girls. The same girls are not often, I think, both dumb and unhappy. Wanda is a double depressant, a real stringy-haired rag mop. That makes her a sort of unprotagonist. Generally, you'd have to have something stirring in you to be that unhappy. But she's so dumb, we can't tell what has made her miserable. Well, I think that Kael is overstating the dumbness of Wanda. I really don't think she's that dumb. I think she's depressed. She's not the smartest, but she's not, like, so dumb that, like, she doesn't even know what's making her unhappy.
She's dumber than any other character in the movie.
Mr. Dennis, that fucking bank robbery was so dumb.
Wanda sometimes seems like she can't tie her own shoes.
Yeah, but to me, it really does feel like she just is so overwhelmed with the shittiness of life that, like, I feel like I can't tie my own shoes sometimes. Wait, you are not, you hate tying your own shoes.
I hate it, but I can do it. I don't need you to tell me what to do.
All right, I just think that Kael is overstating the dumbness and
she doesn't understand depression.
Yeah, Kael does
which
not.
Nobody did. Like, we didn't, you know...
You didn't have the vocabulary for it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And, like, this is also... I think that a lot of the second-wave feminist critiques of this movie are, like, they are still quite scandalized by the idea of, like, a mother who doesn't want to take care of their children.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think there is a certain kind of, like, of the time period moralizing and just assessment of, like, I think Loden is speaking to a much more... Like, people nowadays are, like, feel much more like Wanda and are comfortable saying they feel like Wanda.
Yeah.
Than I think anybody did back then. Like, what Kael's talking about, like, well, come on, you gotta have a reason to be unhappy. It's like, what do you mean? Her life is terrible.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? What reason does she have to be happy?
Right. I think she meant more like...
Kael's like, if you're dumb...
You have to have inner thoughts in order to realize that your life is shitty.
Exactly. Like, if you're dumb, you wouldn't get how shitty your life is.
Right.
I don't think that's true at all. Like...
Yeah, well, I think that one big thing is that, like, Wanda seems like she's not reacting to things. But I think she's... Well, I more than just think. Loden has specifically said, with regarding Wanda's apathy, that the apathy is... She wrote the character, and I think it reflects how she herself deals with emotions and shows her emotions. The apathy is just a way to conceal an inner hidden turmoil. So, for example, Loden says, the scene where Wanda goes to the factory to get some money and try to get back on the job, the factory boss turns her down, and she just thanks him.
Yeah.
And Loden says, many times when people give us terrible news or completely reject us, our stomachs may be turning over, but we don't show it. Wanda has been numbed by her experiences, and she protects herself by behaving passively and wandering through life hiding her emotions. And I totally felt that when watching the movie. And it's so interesting seeing interviews with Barbara Loden.
Yeah.
Like, there was this documentary made about her called I Am Wanda. They shot the footage of her 3 months before she died, and she knew that she was dying. So she was just really open and honest in that interview. And Kazan had said that she was kind of treating that documentary, as the last way of, like, putting out into the world, like, who she was. So we watched this together, and honestly, it's not the best quality documentary in the world.
But it kind of has a Wanda vibe to it. Like, the
true.
Style.
That's true.
And, like, their house is kind of drab in a lot of ways, even though they're, like, rich.
There's this scene where it's like a reading group of the Kazan family, where Elia and Barbara and then their kids are sitting around the table, and they each just take turns, like, reading a passage of something they found meaningful. And it's just, like, so... like after school specially or something. I don't know.
She reads this thing that's like a it's some version, it's some play on Ecclesiastes.
Oh, it wasn't a straight up Bible quote?
No, I think it was like a tweaked version of that.
Okay.
And at the end, Kazan's like, and so that meant something to you?
Yeah, like he was clearly like criticizing, like
that's what you chose to bring to the table? Like,
yeah, and like his son read a poem out loud, and then I think he made some comment about, like, pointing out the fact that his son was clearly embarrassed while reading it or something. I don't know. It was just, like, it was just funny. Anyways, in that documentary, she starts talking about her mom and then just emotional things with her life. And Barbara Loden's clearly getting very emotional, but she's so quiet about it. Like, you can tell she's getting emotional, but also she's not showing the emotions in an emotional way. Sorry, I'm saying this so poorly, but...
She doesn't need to portray emotion because she is clearly really feeling it. There's nothing where she's, like, needs to, like, underline anything. And in fact, in Wanda, like, she's often playing against what the scene seems like it is.
Yeah, somebody had said that Barbara Loden seemed more authentically herself through the character of Wanda than she did in real life. Which I think is kind of sad. And I don't know, based on the interviews I saw, I felt like that came across in the interviews too. Like, I feel like she was super authentic in the interviews. But
you guys gotta check out that, if you can find it, that thing with her and John and Yoko. Just cool. Because her outfit's so good, and, like, she just looks so cool. Like,
and then you can see Yoko Ono perform at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
So after Wanda, as we said, she wrote a number of screenplays. She couldn't get them made. She directed in theater. Like, she continued in the theater world, so she directed a number of off-Broadway shows.
And teaching acting.
And she taught acting, yeah. There was this hilarious scene where she's, like, doing, like, intimacy coaching, sort of, between these two actors in a rehearsal for a play she's directing. Well, she's trying to, like...
old school acting class.
Yeah, she was trying to, like, get them to have a better physical chemistry in one of the scenes, and she was telling the guy, as he's, you know, working with his scene partner, you can kiss the eyes, touch the eyes, you can feel it against different parts of your body.
Yeah. It's basically, she's like, just explore each other. And it's like they're reading, like, some stupid hacky scene, like, from some play that nobody's never heard of, and they're just find different things that you like about each other. Just like, it's just like very old school acting class.
Yeah, but she was right that, like, they had embraced, and then she had said, once you're in that embrace, like, you're stuck there, and there's not much you can do dynamically, and that made sense to me. Like,
no, yeah, I mean, she was right.
By all accounts, she was really, really good with working with actors.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of different people said about her.
But not with non-actors, because she really just seems like she was throwing up her hands a lot of these times with these people, where she's like, again, they failed at what I've told them to do. So she's trying to get screenplays made.
Yeah.
She's teaching acting. She's directing.
She made 2 short films. They were educational short films.
Very educational.
They were for, like, an educational film company or something.
Yeah.
Like after-school special type movies.
Yeah. One's called The Boy Who Liked Deer.
And the other's called The Frontier Experience.
The Frontier Experience,
yeah,
right.
She made them for the Learning Corporation of America.
Yeah. And again, like, I do relate to Barbara's, like, these terrible, she's bad at titling things, I think. Like, the boy, like, she just puts these very on-the-nose titles. I know they're educational films and stuff like that, but just, like, The Boy Who Liked Deer. It's basically, it's like an anti-vandalism thing, but it's, like, super sad and maudlin. It's about this, like, boy who's, like, a bad kid, but he does like deer, as the title suggests.
That's, like, the only thing that he really is authentic about.
Yeah, and just basically, like, he commits various acts of vandalism with he and his friends, and they basically destroy the soul of this teacher that they have, and then they end up inadvertently killing the deer that he likes so much, and he's so sad about it, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
It's very...
It's like, don't do vandalism where you might kill the one thing you love the most in the world.
Yeah. The Frontier Experience, though, is pretty cool.
It is.
And she stars in it.
Yeah, she stars in it.
And she's pretty great in that, too. Like, she plays a somewhat more heroic and proactive character than Wanda. But she still gets in some great reaction shots of, like, this is my fucking life, my Frontier Experience life. This is terrible.
Yeah, it's about, like, you know, pioneer family showing up in this house that they're, like, trying to homestead, and it turns out to be a totally shitty house, and the husband quickly dies, and so this woman's just gotta, like, try to survive the winter with her kids and 0 crops, and... Yeah,
it's, like, kind of good. Like, I mean, it's, you know.
You can find it on YouTube. Both of them are on YouTube. And it's, like, what, 12 minutes long or 20 minutes long or something?
Frontier Experience is a little long. It's, like, 25, minutes, I think.
Yeah. One person called it a political prequel to Wanda. Definitely cares about, like, women.
Yes.
Having to survive on their own.
This character is a little bit more willing to make a commentary about how shitty her life is.
Yeah.
But, like, she definitely is like, I'm stuck in this terrible life. Like, oh my God. Like, and so they're kind of good. Like, I don't know. It's like, she clearly wanted to do more.
And she clearly would have made good shit.
Yeah, she had the capability to do. But she did make some things.
She did a lot of theater.
She did a lot of theater. She, you know, she wasn't idle in her the last 10 years of her life. She did 10 years after Wanda.
Yeah, no.
So, you know.
She was offered a teaching position at Columbia University, but she knew she was dying of cancer, so instead she suggested that they hire Nicholas Profer as her collaborator instead.
Yeah, and he continues to teach there, right?
Yeah, for a number of years. Yeah. Like, that was
he wrote a textbook on screenwriting and filmmaking that I think a lot of people are like, this is one of the best textbooks on how to make a film they've ever seen. Cool. That they've ever seen. The best textbook that has ever been known to man or woman.
The Boy Who Liked Deer, it ends on a freeze frame, just like Wanda does, which is clearly inspired by 400 Blows.
Yeah, she felt like freeze frames had gotten pretty overused.
Oh, really? She said that?
Yeah, but she was like, I do just fucking love that 400 Blows one. And, like, again, you know, Wanda, it was, like, similar to the 400 Blows. It was just, like, improvised. Like, that wasn't there was never the plan to end on that. It was just because they got the good shot and, like, end it. Freeze it.
I mean, this whole thing about her interiority, like, the freeze frame just totally evokes that because you're focusing in on a facial expression of a character who you don't know what they're feeling at that exact moment. Like, you do know what they're feeling. Like, obviously she's not having a good time. But it just really, like, zooms in on, like, you looking at their facial expression.
Like, Wanda. It's kind of like, Wanda.
I feel like it's more like, Wanda.
Wanda. Well, poor Wanda.
Yeah, it's a downer ending.
Downer ending.
Stroycheck.
Yeah, the movie had a lot of Stroycheck vibes to it.
The Herzog film, if you've ever seen it. It's got that chicken ending.
Yeah.
Okay, Holy Land, USA. There's a scene where they go to visit Mr. Dennis's father, which reminded me a lot of Bonnie and Clyde, that part, because he tries to give his dad money, and his dad's like, I don't want your immoral money.
They were supposed to have another guy play the dad, and then he, like, didn't show up. Or something, so they went to a nursing home.
Oh my God.
And they found this guy, and they were like, okay, so you're, like, this religious dad, your son is this guy who's, like, a criminal. He's like, don't tell me, I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know anything about what's going on. And
he was into the whole, like, authentic reaction acting type
thing?
I
guess, except he just wanted to, he just, like, he's like, I know what to do. And they're like, okay. And she was like, that guy actually was good.
I thought he was good, yeah.
She was like, that was a good non-actor. Like, he gave us great dialogue. He was,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, that whole scene is kind of set at this, like, religious theme park. And the instant I saw it, I was like, that's some shit I would love to go to. Like, I'm not religious. I'm not into religion, but it was this kitschy, touristy thing. And I'm so into those. Like, when I travel, I like to look for those really lame, kitschy stuff.
You like the tourist trap?
Yeah, I like the tourist traps. Like, I love, like, when you're driving to Vegas, in between Los Angeles and Vegas on the 15, there's those, like, small, sad, brightly colored little hotel, casino. I want to stop there and go into those castle-looking places. Like, those look fun. I love going, like, in Salton Sea near San Diego. There's, like, the Banana Museum, which is just this really
went
sad.
there.
Yeah. And I fucking loved it, even though it was, like, this really
not quite a
lame
museum.
Yeah, it was just more like this shop that had a lot of banana stuff. You had to pay, like, $5 to get it. It was a ripoff. But I still think about it. But anyways, I would totally go to Holy Land, USA. Yeah. It looked super fun. I want to see the catacombs, the replicas of the catacombs. I looked into it. Okay, so it's in Waterbury, Connecticut. Once upon a time, it attracted tens of thousands of visitors each year.
But then we became heathens.
Yeah, it became abandoned and neglected by the 1980s after the guy who started it, like, his health deteriorated. And then it closed down, but apparently reopened in 2014.
Oh, the perfect time.
So yeah, I don't know how it's doing right now, but there's a website.
Okay. Well, the Holy Land is a notable location. This movie is full of great-looking period locations.
Not great looking.
They are great looking. I would look at this shit all day. I'm telling you, you never see this kind of, like, level of detail. This is one of the most detailed depictions of small-town American life of this period that I've seen. I mean, it might as well be a documentary.
It's just not my aesthetic, but I'm glad you like it.
I love the browns and the greens and the plastics.
Okay, what else? Loden has been compared a lot to Cassavetes. I have not seen any Cassavetes films, so you kind of have to drive this here.
Soon, yeah.
I know, we gotta watch it soon. But I'm curious, you have seen Cassavetes.
Yeah.
Do you see the comparison there?
Of course. No, I mean, I feel like it's the filmmaking style, the sadness of the characters. You know, obviously, Gina Rollins is kind of a Barbara Loden-esque character in some ways. The thing with Cassavetes movies, they have a loose improvisational feel, sort of a documentary style shooting. You know, you're sort of following people through rooms and stuff, but, you know, that's full of actors doing some acting. I mean, Gina Rollins in A Woman Under the Influence is probably one of my favorite performances of any actor in a movie ever, and it's so over the top. Yeah, I can't wait for you to watch this movie, honey.
I'm excited to watch Cassavetes. Loden has a quote.
Yeah.
She says, in 1970, she said, Cassavetes' faces has all the cliches of the actor's studio.
Yeah.
It recalls every improv class with its acting cliche of drunk people.
Totally.
And
that's true about that movie.
And then Loden said, I have a different attitude than him about content.
She sought out advice about how to get financing for a movie before she ultimately got her friend
Harry
Schuster. She said, I asked Shirley Clark and the Meekus brothers, who are people who made low-budget films that weren't widely seen, like, how did you get money from movies? And she's like, they wouldn't tell me. So she's just like, fuck you then, I guess. Like, and yeah. So, like, yeah, they wouldn't tell her.
That's so shitty.
Yeah.
Come on, support other artists. Let's go.
I guess Shirley Clark probably didn't see a lot in common with Barbara Loden.
So Kale had described Wanda as an unprotagonist.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, her term for an anti-hero.
It's the coolest thing about it. No, but, she kind of is an anti-hero. I don't know.
She is.
Well, do you want to talk about the whole concept of a female anti-hero here?
Okay.
Okay.
As opposed to just a normal anti-hero?
Yeah, I think a female anti-hero is really tough to get.
Why?
Because
women are always sympathetic.
Exactly. Yes, it's
I'm being sarcastic.
No, but like it's true. Like it's just like for me, like Tar is that's what I think. Tar is a perfect example of a female anti-hero because she's like she's genuinely unsympathetic, but also genuinely cool. Like the thing is, like when you show like a female like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo or Jessica Jones and stuff like that. They're always just basically like they kick ass and they've been traumatized, right?
But like Jessica
what I mean?
Jones, like the thing with that kind of thing is like, oh, you got the trauma in your life, so you're gonna have an attitude, but you're still gonna kick ass and stuff. Those characters, you still know they're always gonna make the correct moral decision in the end when push comes to shove, and that's not the case with Wanda.
No, you're right. But the thing is that she's also not like I feel like an anti-hero. She doesn't have any hero in her. Do you know what I mean?
That's the point. Like
no. Don Draper does have like some things that he accomplishes in a cool way. Like there's things. I feel like an anti-hero, like you have to have both the lack of sympathy and them actually accomplishing something. Like they have to be like a killer. Or, like, they have to do a thing. Like,
well, Webster's dictionary defines anti-hero as a protagonist or notable figure who is conspicuously lacking in heroic qualities. But so you're saying that
she's not a protagonist.
I guess that would be one key thing is, like, she's not acting like a protagonist.
Yeah.
But, like, you're kind of saying, like, an anti-hero, by your definition, is like gesturing towards hero-like behavior, but is unsympathetic.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like it's it's more complicated than that. And I really don't mean to say, like, you can't have this happen. Like, this to me is, like, one of the great questions of our time. Or not question, but, like, this is one of the great things that, like, we need so much more of, I think.
I think that if you don't have any sympathy for a character at all, then they're just a straight up villain. So you're always going to have some amount of sympathy. The question is just how much.
Okay,
and I feel like
Daniel Plainview? How much sympathy do you have for Daniel Plainview?
I mean, you see him, the whole opening shot, you see him working so hard, so quietly.
Yeah,
you have sympathy for that kind of, like, drive. Like, you just get the sense that there's something in his past is really just driving him towards...
Maybe I'm quibbling. Like, I do think that there is a certain kind of thing where, like, people think, like, Promising Young Woman, right? Like, is she an anti-hero? Like...
You're cheering for her actively the whole time. I feel like anti-heroes, you're not really necessarily cheering for them.
Right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this is a thing where it's like,
but I'm not
maybe there are more
examples. Wanda.
No, not at all. Maybe there are,
like, you hope that she'll do okay, but she's never doing an action where you're like, yeah, go Wanda.
But she is so unique. She's a unique character.
Yeah.
And, that is interesting to me in a way that makes me kind of on her
but that's
side.
not like a hero. That's not... has nothing to do with hero.
It's not. She's
really
really not an anti-hero. Like she is an anti-hero in that she's like an anti-protagonist.
Yeah.
That's like, but I guess with me it's just like people are so quick to label like a woman who's a jerk in a movie an anti-hero, but it's like it's almost always because she had something bad happen to her, and like you feel, sure. And it's like that's not quite an anti-hero to me.
I think,
like,
no, I think you don't count as an anti-hero if you always do the morally correct.
Exactly, if you were correct
thing.
to be a jerk to the society that has treated you so bad.
Yeah, and if like you being a jerk is just like you doing like just an attitude thing,
right?
But when
you're not smiling when somebody tells you to smile.
Yeah, but when it comes to like actual important decisions, you're going to always save somebody.
Exactly. Right. Yes, totally. Yeah. Wanda is a wonderful contribution to the canon of characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I liked the way the movie, it didn't make a huge point about this, but just the role of family. I feel like it showed the characters as like, if family is a thing that grounds you in reality, and if you don't have family to ground you, then you become a wanderer. And I feel like that's true for both Mr. Dennis and Wanda. So the reason I bring that up is because the opening shot, you see her sister with the baby, and Wanda is like, I don't want that. Like, it almost feels like she doesn't want to be strapped with the baby. She leaves that household with the baby, goes to the courthouse, and leaves her actual family, and then wanders around. Like, she rejects the family thing, and that unmoors her because she doesn't have a family holding her down. Yeah. And then later, Mr. Dennis is trying to recruit somebody else to join their team. He's talking to a guy, and he's like, hey, do you want to join us again? Like, clearly it's a guy that he's worked with in the past on a job. And the guy says, like, no, I don't want to, I can't do it this time because of his kid. Yeah. So he turns that down because of his kid. So it's another instance of, like, the whole family unit incorporating you into society. And so if you don't have that family at that time period, you just weren't part of society. So yeah, overall, just the new Hollywoodness of it. The fact that there's an anti-hero, not a happy movie. Yeah.
Like it's going for a form of realism that is pointedly antithetical to the candy-coated fake aesthetic of movies before it.
Yeah, it's non-traditional storytelling.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's clearly influenced by Italian neorealism.
Yes. I did read a book, it was called Women and New Hollywood, because there weren't that many women in New Hollywood, so you had to broaden out the scope a bit if you want to talk about women at that time period, because they were so excluded from the traditional definition of New Hollywood. So that matches with Wanda, because technically, because it's not a studio film, by some people's definition, it might not be considered New Hollywood, because it's an independent film. Right. So yeah, this is one of those instances where, women were excluded from the time period and from filmmaking in the time period, and had to make it their own way in these more indirect routes.
Part of the deal with Loden here is, like, she wasn't a total nobody. She did have some connections.
Right.
And that surely made it... Again, this is something that people have noted about a lot of female directors. You kind of usually had to be famous for something first to be a woman that anybody would trust.
Yeah, because unfortunately, otherwise you wouldn't be given a shot. That reminds me, there's this hilarious quote from her collaborator, Nicholas Preferis, who had said, with regards to, like, the idea of working with Barbara Loden before he made the film with her, he said, "I was very reluctant. I had never shot any feature. Also, working with a woman, an actress, that didn't seem like a good idea, or even an interesting idea. I don't know what made me do it." But then afterwards, he said it was like one of the best experiences of his life. Yeah, he never worked with somebody as closely as he had worked with Loden and stuff. But that's just so hilarious that he's like, that doesn't sound interesting, working with a woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get maybe where he's talking about, like, maybe this could seem like some actress's vanity project.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
sure.
Some, like, he's like,
it's like the farthest from that.
No,
though.
right.
It's like no vanity in this movie.
Anti-vanity project, yeah.
But yeah, she set out to make an anti-Hollywood story featuring a female character. She specifically set out that she wasn't trying to make a women's liberation film. She didn't even know about women's liberation at the time. Like, it just was a new thing coming on. But
I want to make a women's misery movie.
Yeah, like, I was about to say, like, some people say she didn't care about that much about the female experience at all. That's just not true. Like, that same quote that she says that she didn't even know about the women's liberation, she said that had just started when the film was finished. The picture was not about women's liberation, but she said it was really about the oppression of women, of people. Being a woman is unexplored territory, and we're pioneers of a sort, discovering what it means to be a woman.
Yeah.
So she totally cared about depicting the female experience.
This was an awakening happening in the country.
Yeah.
As well as within her.
Yeah.
She was clearly a very introspective person.
Yes.
She was in touch with the narrative of her own life and was able at this point, you know, in her close unfortunately to the end of her life, but sort of in the middle of what would be most people's lives, to sort of take stock and say, like, you know, have I been enacting any agency on my own existence? Have I just been completely beholden to the men and my looks and stuff, you know? And she channeled it into a work of art.
No, it's an absolute achievement. I want to end with the S.T.I.G.M.A Manifesto.
A call to arms.
A call to fucking arms. All right, this is called the S.T.I.G.M.A Manifesto, written by Sarah Jacobson. She was the director of that one movie we briefly mentioned, Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore.
Who also died of cancer at age 34.
So sad.
Yeah.
The queen of underground cinema is
Yeah.
how she's been referred to. In 2002, she wrote the
Such a 90s
title.
She's the queen of underground cinema. Sorry.
She wrote this thing called the S.T.I.G.M.A Manifesto. S.T.I.G.M.A is an acronym that stands for Sisters Together in Girly Movie Making Action. She said, "In honor of all those women out there making films and kicking ass, I propose a new manifesto." That's Sam.
Yeah.
I'm snapping. I just want to say I'm not snapping, okay?
Okay, right. Yeah. That's deadly
Sam.
serious.
Yeah. No, I'm just not a snapper.
Right.
No, it's like I just don't want that associated with me.
Okay.
This is not my style.
Hey, whoa! This manifesto is making you get a little bit.
Now I'm snapping.
Now you are snapping.
Yeah, I guess that's confusing that I wasn't snapping before. Now.
And you claim to not be a snapping person.
I don't know my own style. Okay. All right. In honor of all those women out there making films and kicking ass, I propose a new manifesto. Because movies that reflect a woman's point of view are still too rare. Because even though women are achieving incredible feats in business, politics, sports, and the arts, we are still invisible unless we are the love interest or the heinous bitch. Or both. Because women who have made films in the past have been written out of history. Like Alice Guy Blash, the first narrative filmmaker who made The Cabbage Fairy in 1896, who went on to run her own studio and was involved with over 700 films and has been totally left out of the history books.
See, she didn't even mention Barbara Loden in that. She wrote Barbara Loden out of her own manifesto where it's saying that women have been written out of history.
Yeah, she should have gone and listed every single female director ever.
Yes, come on.
Because distributors don't pick up films made by women, and critics don't champion girl-friendly movies that do get released. Can you name any female-directed critic-darling movies where a woman doesn't die at the end? I mean, Barbie just came out, so, yeah, I can, but okay. Because the industry doesn't know how to market to a female audience and isn't interested in organizing one. Some of these things are less true.
Yeah.
Because women over 35 are one of the largest movie-going audiences, and Hollywood doesn't want you to know.
Women under 35, people under 35 now have got to be they're not a movie-going audience of any kind.
Yeah,
I guess women over 35 are the only kind of women that would see a movie now.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I don't count.
No, you don't count.
People in my generation are still movie watchers, but less so.
Much less so.
And
I think people in my generation are... I think I'm in the first generation that's people who avowedly say I don't like watching movies.
Really?
Yes.
It's so sad.
I've dated so many women who don't like movies.
It's so sad. They have so much to give us.
I know.
Okay, back to the manifesto.
Maybe they would like them if there were more girl movies.
Because someone made, released, and gave a ton of money to Shallow Hal.
Hey, that guy later went on to win Best Picture with Green Book. Don't shit on Shallow Hal.
Yeah, because you love Green Book so much.
Yeah, it's being sarcastic.
Because girls are still getting intimidated out of film school.
Yeah.
Because we are not going to put up with this shit any longer.
Okay, that one was a little bit...
I know.
I don't know if we needed to have that one in there.
Because we are tired of women filmmakers...
Kiddies, stop. This is the girly manifesto.
I'm manifestoing.
Because our kitties are too cute.
She looks really cute right now.
She does look really cute. Okay, just sit there still while we finish the manifesto, okay?
She's kind of like Wanda, but happy.
Yeah, our kitty is.
Or just emotionless.
Sometimes she's happy. I don't know. Sometimes she seems very depressed.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the manifesto.
Because we are tired of women filmmakers and women's stories being considered a stigma.
Okay, so that was just the becauses.
Yes. And now here's
This is why the manifesto has to happen, and now here's the manifesto.
Yeah, here's the manifesto.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
that was the reasons why.
Yes.
Okay. Here are the guidelines. At least one of the main characters is a woman.
So this is do you think she knew about the Bechdel test? Do you think this is a more complicated, more involved version of the Bechdel test?
Yeah, when did the Bechdel test come out? I know.
Well, it was a comic that was from I think the 80s or whatever, but I don't know how much that had made it into. I mean, it was certainly blew up in discourse within the last 10 years.
Right. Yeah, and I have no idea to what degree it's influenced by the Bechdel test.
Well, this is much more complicated than the Bechdel test.
Yeah. It's got more shit that we want to see in movies. Okay, I'll keep going.
It's not just a comically low bar like the Bechdel test.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Okay, so we'll go back to the first one.
Okay. At least one of the main characters is a woman.
Okay, that should be doable, right?
Hell yeah.
At least one's a woman. It don't even have to conform to the Bechdel test.
That's
They
true.
just have to be a woman.
That's true.
Okay.
But there's more guidelines.
Okay, go on.
The main woman character does not die at the end, especially if she flaunts moral and sexual conventions.
Right. Do you think you care about this? About whether she dies at the end or not?
I care about if she dies after doing something a little risque.
Yeah, you were bummed by the baker's wife's death in Into the Woods.
That bothers me so much.
Yeah.
They just punish her. It's just
But I don't think it does punish her. She's they're so clearly on her side.
No, they're on her side, but they're still look, we feel for you, but you cheated.
It just doesn't feel that it's because she cheated.
You gotta die.
No, it doesn't feel that it's because she cheated. It feels like that's
how it was written.
No,
that's how it was written.
Okay. We're in the manifesto speaks. No, I'm sorry. Into the Woods side note. No, you have fallen so completely in love with her at that point because of her willingness to explore her sexuality that is why her death is extra tragic. She has become a multidimensional character, and that's why it's extra tragic that she dies.
I feel like you feel when you're watching it you don't want to see her then lie to her husband or anything afterwards.
True. Yeah,
so the death just feels well, this is what we have to do with you because we like you, but it doesn't make sense that you did this bad thing, so let's just make it a little sad and kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're also that's just another good reason why I feel like you've just given another reason why it was a smart choice.
I think it is a powerful story choice, but then if you just keep doing this where any women who deviate from the sexual or moral norm then just get killed off, like even if you make it a sympathetic death.
She does die immediately after she does.
Yeah, it's immediate.
I know, I get it.
Yeah, it's just like, it just creates this whole association in your head. Anyways.
So you pretty much don't want them to die as a form of punishment.
I love characters dying in movies. Like,
right. Yeah, you were just saying that you think every movie should end on the Japanese New Wave thing. You were just saying that you think that every movie should end with one character killing the other one.
Not every movie, but I think
when in doubt.
That's a powerful ending.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, the main woman character does more than be helpless and or sleep with the main man character. We can all get on board with that.
Yeah, that's a character.
No rapes against women unless it deals with its consequences.
I feel like this has become
a big point that people are talking about.
Yes, right. This is something that you talk about all the time.
Yeah, I mean, part of the thing I talk about with it is that I feel like it's lazy writing, and that it's shitty that we're just...
It's become a trope.
Holding up, female sexual violence just out of the sake of laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah. No glamorous female naked corpses. I don't know what it's talking about with this. Like, there's like sexy female naked corpses in movies currently?
Yeah, I guess I'm down for less of that. That seems unnecessary.
You said you guess, you're not sure? Like, you kind of want that to stick around?
Of all of the forms of nudity in a movie that I want, that's certainly never going to be my number one.
More eating pussy and clitoral stimulation scenes during sex scenes, if there are any.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but you've also said that you think sometimes that's itself is a trope of, like,
yes,
all we need to solve sex is to have more eating pussy, and you don't want just that.
No, I don't like when it's used as a trope of all you need to make your film seem feminist is to show a woman getting eaten out. Like, that's not enough. Sorry. You can't just be like, I care about female pleasure because I showed a woman getting eaten out, therefore my film's a feminist film. It's like, you need more than that.
Yeah.
So I think it can be another lazy writing tactic. I definitely think we need more pussy eating in movies. I just don't want that to be the only feminist piece of the movie. No shopping montages.
Boo! I think this is just some kind of 90s chick thing. We don't have enough of those now.
Yeah, bring those back.
Yeah, give me. I want more people coming out of a thing with a bunch of different outfits and people going like, and then the one comes out, they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I want that Amanda Bynes.
Yes.
What's that one? I mean, she's got all those terrible but amazing movies.
Right.
But what's that one where she's like British?
You don't know any of them. I've never seen an Amanda Bynes picture.
She like realizes that she's like the daughter of some like British, like the prime minister or something. I don't know, whatever.
Wow, that sounds like such a strange plot for one of those movies.
You're being sarcastic.
Yes, I
am. Okay, no makeovers.
I mean, what kind of a makeover?
Bring those back too.
Yeah.
Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Best makeover ever. And that's amazing scene.
Like, there are some classic annoying makeovers, like Breakfast Club.
Oh, what about the one where she takes the glasses
She's All
off?
That
She's All
is
That,
pretty annoying.
Yeah.
There's a thing in, like, Clueless where, like, they give Ty a makeover. And I was just watching it with Laura. And, like, when they do it, Laura was like, no! and stuff. But it's, like, part of the point of that is, like, that they're making her... They're sort of doing it wrong. Like, they are making her be too much not herself.
Right.
But, like, that movie is kind of playing at both sides, because it's like, she doesn't seem that upset about having been made over.
I mean, Clueless is great. We don't need to touch a thing
It's true.
in Clueless. So I'm fine with the shopping montages and makeovers.
Yeah.
I want them.
Right.
I want them.
Yeah.
Must have at least one guy in the cast who straight girls would want to French kiss. I fully agree with that.
Yeah, this is something that you talk about all the time. You're always like, that guy's not cute enough for her or whatever and stuff like that.
This is specifically if it's a romance story. And I'm not saying that every film needs to have this. It's just that's what I personally want. You know, if you're like picking porn out for yourself, you're going to pick the shit you like. And And for me, instead of porn, it's like movies where there's French kissing. Yeah,
and I guess my thing is, I feel like I would sacrifice so much hotness in the women in movies. I could be so into much more regular looking people and still find it hot. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you do want a sort of like cookie cutter, blandly handsome dude in things. Whereas I could handle with like I could deal with some like regular ass ladies in movies.
Okay,
I don't need him to be super hot.
I need a little. I need to feel attracted to them, but
you're so picky, and most women are so picky.
But a large part of the attractiveness for me does come from their acting ability and their physicality.
Sure.
And so their body movements, and not just their looks. Like, I'm a sucker for teen dystopian fantasy sci-fi romance TV shows, and there's so many out there right now that are just like total shit, and they just cast the really hot teens,
right. No, it's true.
But they suck. You know, I don't want
you're
that.
Right. You're right. It's not like you're always wanting.
And specifically, this doesn't say
some Chad.
This doesn't say like cast hot guys. It says
you're right.
Cast at least one guy who straight girls would want a French kiss. Okay, no dissing of fat girls.
Sure.
No male fantasy lesbian makeout scenes.
Definitely. I will tell you, I fucking hate this so much.
Yeah.
Like, I think that shit is, like, so fucking annoying. Like, in Birdman, when that just happens randomly.
Oh, I don't remember that part, but that's annoying.
Yeah.
That's, ugh. Yeah, that's bullshit.
I love it in Mulholland Drive.
Why?
Because that is, like, the one time where it's, like, you can do that one time in any movie ever and have it be, like, a surprising and interesting choice that it's like, what if they just, like, les out, you know? But literally every other time I fucking hate it.
The more I watch Lynch movies, the more I'm just, like, skeeved out by Lynch. I love Lynch, but, like, I feel like we talked about this on a different podcast, but, yeah, he's just, the way he treats women's bodies, I don't like it.
He's not hiding his fetishes.
Yeah. All right, the next one. Beautiful girls only fall head over heels in love with ugly loser guys if he's rich or gives good head. And I really appreciate that last part.
But, like, do you think that that's true in real life? I think that there's, like, plenty of women who do get with regular-looking dudes. Like, this thing that we see in movies that's like, oh, I can't believe she's with Seth Rogen or something like that or whatever. It's like, I don't know. Like, he's funny. Like, you know, it's like...
That's the thing. Like, the Seth Rogen thing would never make you go, like, what? It's like...
I think it does to people, though.
Because it's the personality. If you can find a reason why somebody would be attracted to that, then hell yeah. I just think there's so many movies out there from a male perspective where it is just the fulfillment of the fantasy at the end. The guy just gets what he wants, and then so it has nothing to do with the woman seeing something in him or whatever. It's more just, oh yeah, I got the girl in the end. Okay, the main woman character must have one real friend who doesn't fuck her over at the end because of jealousy over a man.
I mean, that's kind of Bechdel testy, I guess.
Totally.
Like, yeah.
A woman must either be the writer or the director of the film. I think she means every movie, and if you think about it, like, that's two positions.
I guess that is a lot to ask.
If there's 50% equality, then 1 out of 2 would be women. You should allow, obviously, for, like, statistically you're gonna have men and women.
They should both be women.
Oh my god, you're just trying to one-up me.
I think every single person in a movie should be a woman. That's just what I think. Okay? I'm sorry. No, but honestly, though, like, I think if you're making a movie about being a woman, at least a woman should be either the writer or the director.
Well, of course. Yeah.
No, but there's plenty of times when it's not. Yeah, like, so I think that's a less of a high bar to ask than every movie.
But I think we all recognize that should be the case for any time there's a story about a certain group of people.
I don't even know if we do. I think that sometimes we think you should consult somebody from that group.
I feel like...
Or involve them.
I feel like most people, the consensus out there is have somebody be involved with the creative process.
I guess, but there's exceptions to everything. Like, there's, like Bo Burnham in 8th grade. Pretty much everyone's like, meh, he did it okay. Like, you know, he did a good job.
Okay, well, I think it's a little different if you're writing it about kids. Like, you're not going to have kids make a good film because they're kids.
No, but like a woman, it's about a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, okay. Like, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Bo
Burnham...
Kids
make the movies to now.
Yeah. Bo Burnham...
and Sean Baker.
He could do it fine. Sean Baker, sure. But you could still have somebody...
Like, they did the research.
But still, like, they can do a good job, but the best version would be if it's people telling their own stories.
I mean, I would like to say, I bet Sean Baker could do a better job than some people telling their own stories.
Of course.
Bo Burnham could,
but Sean Baker is extremely talented, and not everybody is extremely talented. So,
right.
Yeah. But there are extremely talented people of all groups out there.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Anyways, I feel like I'm saying the thing that everybody's saying right now. I don't think I'm saying anything too novel here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for, a woman to be either the writer or director for every movie.
We should strive for 50%. We should strive for gender equality. Like, that's not going to happen for a very long time, but it's a totally valid ask. Anyways, the very last guideline is take your credit. Women, no more holding back to not intimidate others. All right, 3 hours in. I didn't expect this episode to be so long.
It's a long one. Yeah, we'll probably cut some of that out.
Yeah.
But hey, I think we did good by Barb.
That's true. If it was a 20-minute episode, it'd be like, oh, they hate female directors.
No, I love this movie. I do.
Really appreciate it. And there's a lot that's so amazing about it. And I'm not saying that in like I appreciate it, I guess. Like, I truly, really appreciate it.
I think anybody who's like into indie movies and stuff like that, I would say you gotta see it.
It's free on YouTube.
It's free. It's on HBO too.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you don't have any streaming services, it's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you might think when you put it on that you got some really janky bootleg version of it, but that's just the way it looks.
The jankier it is too, it adds to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Please watch it.
Wanda.
Goodbye.
Wanda. All right, that's our show. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on social media. Thank you to The Illuminator for our artwork. And remember, guys, we're a new podcast, so if you could leave a comment or just a like, that would really help us out. Thank you. We love you. Bye.